nights in a row. I love the show too much. Welcome in KegCast number 159. Live at the Wednesday night card. I got Ramon. I got Max already in the co-captain seats. I think Twatty might show up. Ant might show up. We got a full slate of Wednesday night baseball, which hasn't been the case for a large part of the year. We've only had like 8 games on Wednesday nights. But there's a full slate. We got 2 WNBA playoff games and a bunch of college football and professional football talk to get us ready for the weekend. So welcome in. What's going on, Max? What's going on, Ramon?
Just actually looking at this baseball card. I'm hoping that I can summon the power of Mr. Entertainment to help me produce and find a live winner in this Houston-Oakland game, because I'm looking to find my way into Houston and at a more favorable price after their football loss last night. So watching that game, hoping to find a live play to send out to you and the rest of the keggers.
Well, I see
What's going on, Ramon?
The Zach Davies fan club was in effect for the first time tonight, huh? Milwaukee 5-2.
Yes, sir.
Max Rowdy just hit a 2-run home run. 2-0 Toronto, bottom of the 4th.
I made one bet. I watched Between the Scenes. I made one bet. I laid the 130 to pick up a stick on Milwaukee, and so far the jinx is not in effect. I might cash a bet that Anthony's on.
That's awesome.
That would be wonderful. It's been a minute.
Is there a YouTube MLB game of the week tonight? Or is that on Thursday?
Last night, I think. They had the Indians and Angels last night. I don't know if they're coming back with one tonight.
Okay.
I just wondered, Johan Camargo, freak injury right now, almost very similar to the Yelich situation. He just banged a ball off his leg. He's going to have to leave the game right now in the top of the 4th. Camargo is out for this game.
So what WNBA playoff action are you on tonight, Ramon?
The first, it's funny because, Sharps really weren't interested in these first 2 playoff games from my calculations. But early on, I think I was looking Chicago in the over at very square sides, though. Public loving Chicago, public loving the over in that game. That one, it's just about a few minutes in right now in Chicago, leading 20-16. Later on, 7 o'clock start West Coast, 10 o'clock in the East Coast, Minnesota and Seattle. This one holding steady. Seattle, 2.5, total 150. Haven't seen much movement at all, but the public likes the Lynx and the over.
Sweet. So what are you on in that game?
I'm going to wait and see. I'm going to see if we can't cap something on that. Not sure at this point. These first games, I really want to lean towards those home teams. I mean, this is a very interesting situation. You got that Seattle club that we've been kind of riding this year at home, laying a small number. Money seems to be in favor of the Lynx, but the tickets are in favor of the Seattle club.
Any sharp moves?
There has not been many sharp moves at all. In comparison to the regular season, where a lot of my handicap was market-based, looks like sharps weren't too excited about these one-game playoffs.
Fair enough. Have you made any college football bets? Like, are they in yet?
Yeah, I think it's important to get on some of those moves early. We have seen some pretty crazy swings this week in week 2. Maybe a lot of it's public-based. I think there's a lot of public teams right now, and they might be in for a rude awakening, especially teams that did well at home, turning around, going on the road.
Are you talking about North Carolina, Ramon?
I didn't want to say it, Max.
Are you talking about North Carolina? Because I haven't made my bet on them, and I'm trying to decide still.
I sent out a play in the UCF game early. Got a great number. I like that a lot. Man, I have been itching to pull the trigger on fucking Maryland, man. But I just feel like I don't know if it's a trap. I mean,
numbers going down.
I know, bro. Well, it went up to 8.5, and now there's been a serious buyback on Maryland, right? It's down to an even flat 7 at my book.
I got 1.5 of value on Colorado. It's at the 4.5, so I'm feeling.
That's another
ginger.
game where I think you're on the right side of the number.
And
I think you're on the right side of the game too. But I don't know. It feels a little trappy.
I agree. But sometimes you just got to play these games because everyone's looking to frickin' avoid getting hit with that big underdog, and then they could just mind fuck themselves out of it. Another game that just keeps on popping out the board. I hope Ramon has some sharp action information for me on that. Is Alabama -25? I think that they smoke South Carolina. They bend them over, split them like a fucking rotten peach.
Welcome in Michelle, Rich G, Slayer, Carlos, Von Polo, EJV, Damon, and everybody else that's here. I know that the Pick Six contest is going on right now. On Jimmy's got that going, so more people will trickle in as the night goes on.
I think they're off the air.
Are they off the air already?
I think they might be. I don't. What is the? I'm so out of it. I don't even know what the picks. No, it's still on. Okay,
they're doing a super contest. It's like a pick. It's like Pick Six, college, any combination of college football and NFL, and there are $50,000 worth of prizes throughout the year. 6,000 to the overall winner. For each individual week winner. What's going on there?
And that's on the SBR contest. That's on the SBR contest page.
Right. Yeah, exactly right.
Max, the only thing I'm seeing
I don't know. Go ahead.
The only thing I'm seeing as far as sharps are concerned in the Bama game was a pretty sharp move that came in on over 60, and pretty sure Quaddy's on the over in that game.
Yeah, I was looking at also. I saw the 62. I'm still into it. Another question. What can you tell me about Houston's pitcher right now? And is this guy a guy who pitches or does he throw?
Well, I'm between the seams. Oh, sorry. I was just going to say I'm between the seams. Ant took the over, and he said that it could be a game where, like, it's one of those 9-8 type of games. So over 13.5 in alternative total is paying plus 250. I might take a shot for a half unit on an alternative over if we expect a shit ton of runs in this game. But I don't know. What do you think about the game, Ramon?
Well, one of the most popular angles for professional bettors is kind of like a contrarian under in games involving winning teams. That's always a pretty solid, just a standard move by professionals. But Urquidy, we've seen him out there before, and we've seen what's happened in this series. It's been crazy, obviously. It's one of the most bizarre. I guess it's not bizarre anymore. It's almost the norm. But, for the winning team just to go off every night, the first two nights, the Astros, and then last night, Houston, the public just all over the over in this game, more than 75% of the action coming in, tickets and money. But sharps preferred the under at about a 2-to-1 ratio. Myself, I had to take the under.
You're on the under.
11.
Yeah, Ant was talking about two really good lineups that have both scored 20 runs the last 4 games. And subpar pitching. I guess that's why he was talking about the over.
Miley's early exit screwed everything up, apparently, for the Astros and their pitching plans here. So just a contrarian side for me. I mean, I saw what happened the last 3 nights. It was crazy. Those were football first quarter scores coming out of there. A.J. Pollock just hit a home run, 2-1 Dodgers on top of the Orioles. Top of the set.
Oh, wow. That Houston game already started. I guess I'm not taking a half unit stab at that.
Not to shift back to college football, but let's talk about this Cal -14 versus North Texas. Is this a typical college football fade spot where a team looked really good, had an out-of-body performance, and now they're going to lay an egg at home versus a team that pretty much shouldn't be in this game to begin with?
That was the only game on Saturday night where I was dead wrong, but I don't know how wrong I was. They had that 2-hour lightning delay, right? Washington moved the ball up and down the field between the 20s and just could not get in the end zone. Combined with I think they had some turnovers too. So I don't know, man. I don't know how good Cal really is or how bad they are. I don't know. I'm at a loss right now with Cal.
And the other one that I'm really interested in is Oklahoma. I don't like UCLA. I don't like their football team right now. I like their freaking apparel, but that's as far as it goes. I missed the good number of 21.5. It's up to 23, but I still see Oklahoma smacking them in the mouth and saying, "Hey, I'm your bitch."
Well, it's hard to get on them after that opening line at 21.5. But I agree. UCLA is dog shit. Fuck Chip Kelly. I think Oklahoma goes out and smashes this team.
So do you think that a first half play would be better just to
What's the line? I think
it's
the
23
first
right
half,
now. And there's
right.
no first half lines on the board on Bet365. I have to look at Pinnacle right
Yeah,
now.
I don't think I have them either, but I'm interested in Alabama's first half, Clemson's first half, and Oklahoma's first half this week.
Don't you want to lay off Clemson because Clemson's been quite unspectacular? Trevor Lawrence
They have
has not been very good.
I think this is a game, though, Max, where they can really show up and show out. Syracuse just got beat by 45 to a Maryland team that I like, but a Maryland team that still isn't great.
Yeah, but Jay,
this looks like it's going to what?
That's a more dangerous team to worry about. That's like a wounded animal. Like, you got to be careful with that Syracuse team. They're at their home stadium. They got their home crowd. They got the intimidation of the Carrier Dome. Like, I don't know.
I mean, I
I've
agree
seen
when you're
Clemson teams
talking
lose
about
straight up in that building.
I agree when you're talking about teams like there's a difference between a wounded lion and a wounded cat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I see your point. I see your point. Here's a stat that I heard last night. Under Nick Saban, Alabama as a 29-point favorite or less is 67% against the number against the spread. That is impressive, man.
Oh, I do have first half numbers for the Oklahoma game. I can take Oklahoma on the plus money up to 14.5 at plus 115. I could take him at 13.5 minus 113. Not very good numbers.
What is it? Say it again.
I can take them. The best numbers that I see is 13.5 at minus 113 or 14.5 at plus 115.
That 13.5 number is not bad. Do you have first half lines on Clemson and Alabama yet?
I'm pretty sure that I do.
Rich, I almost sent out 3 of those. 4 of those. I only ended up sending out 1 out straight and 1 in like special kind of bet. But yeah, I mean, but they all worry me. Maryland worries me. That Colorado line is really low. That worries me.
At minus 116, you can take at minus 116, you could take them 14.5, but you could also take them at 15.5 at minus 107.
Who's that?
Alabama. And 16.5 at minus 102. If you want to go a little heavier for a plus price and think that they're going to smoke them by 3 touchdowns or more, I would be looking at the 17.5 at plus 126. Fair value, but obviously on a more recreational book, you're going to be able to get better, but you have to wait longer.
Have we seen anything from this South Carolina team the first 2 weeks that makes you think they're going to hang within 3 touchdowns to Alabama in the first half?
Well, they don't have Samuel. They don't have any kind of like breakaway player, in my opinion. And the way that they blew that lead on the road at North Carolina when they had it so in the bag, it's just like it's hard to have faith in a team. Obviously, this is going to be their freaking SEC championship game, but Alabama's used to getting everybody's best shot. and they usually freaking duck it and end up knocking them out. So
I thought this South Carolina team would be a lot better than what they've shown me so far. I was high on them coming into the year, actually.
yeah, it's easy to be high on a lot of SEC teams, but in reality, there's not that many of them that are actually that good.
What do you think, Ramon, about the games that we're talking about?
No, I'm worried. Just so public on Bama. 4 out of every 5 tickets coming in on Bama, but the line hasn't moved. I mean, holding steady, right? 25.5.
It makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense when he's hitting at that percentage against 29-point favorites or lower.
Right. I mean,
what do you think about? I know you're on Temple, right?
Probably going to be on Temple.
Yeah, I mean, it seems. I think Maryland wins the game. I don't know. It might be really, really close, though. It seems like I hate to use that word trap, but it seems like that. And what do you think about the Colorado Air Force game? Max laid it with Colorado. I completely agree with him, but that number seems weirdly short.
Only professional move we've seen really has come in on Air Force. But the line move certainly has been in the Buffs' favor, opening 3.5 up to 4.5. Mostly based on about 2/3 of the public coming in on Colorado there.
Yeah, I get it.
I've already marked it on my sheet. I thought I marked it on my sheet already as Max's play there on the Buffs. Standing by that, right, man?
Yeah, I already bet it at 3, so I'm good.
Lauren says Air Force coming off the bye, Colorado off an emotional win with Pac-12 opener next week. Yeah, yes to all that. I agree with all that.
Yeah, I just think that this team is a little more emotionally mature than they are last year. I think that they're going to be able to fight off any kind of look-ahead feeling they may have. If we know what Air Force does, they frustrate teams. They take teams out of their freaking rhythm. I think that Colorado is going to be on point and ready for whatever is thrown at them versus Air Force. That's just my opinion.
Yeah. What were you on in that first WNBA game, Ramon? Did you say the Sky?
Yeah. We took the home team in the over.
What was the closing number?
Technical play 7. Some 6.5s out there, and a 7 as well in that game. Total went up considerably, not considerably, just a high total in the game. The game opened 168, closed 170.
Is Taurasi playing?
I don't think so. I'll check.
Yeah, I think I would have taken
ESPN too right now.
I think I agree with you there, but I would have thought the line would have been less than 7. Those two blondes, though, could just drop threes like a motherfucker. Brittany Griner left the game, too. Well, that's trouble. Although I like Bonner as a player. I think she's good, but that's trouble. That's trouble for
Phoenix has a healthy unit, it looks like.
What's up, RK? What's up, Cody MT? Just to take a look at these live lines in baseball.
MT talking about the season opener in golf tomorrow. Only 10 of the top 100 players are going to be, I believe, at the first event of the season.
What was the line in this Dodgers game? Like minus 500? Dodgers and Baltimore?
No, actually, you might even consider it a discount on the Dodgers tonight. The Dodgers, after clinching the division title, obviously a gambling letdown, if you will. A lot of people look to fade in that spot, but if you were looking to get on the Dodgers, you could have got on them at a pretty reasonable price tonight. Really as low as like $1.70.
Wow.
Yeah. It ended up going off at about $2, maybe $2.10, but that was just on a late public push. The line dipped as low as $1.68 today.
They won that division with a statement last night, huh?
I mean, and to do it this early, I mean, I think there's like 20 games left. So I don't know.
To run down, I just want to see where you're at position wise. The Atlanta Philly game. What side did you come down
on? Yeah, Philly and the over there right now. Atlanta 3-0 in the bottom of the fourth inning. They're probably laying about $7 right now.
Toronto at home, bottom of the fifth. They're up 2-0 right now with 2 on and 1 out against Boston. Who are you on?
I like the strong play on the under in that game. This one did go as low as 10, and when it came out, finished off at 11. That was good enough for me to go under in that game. Small play also on the Red Sox as the discounted favorite. Opened as high as $1.48 and went as low as about $1.33, I'd say.
Okay, bases loaded.
23 in the end. Closed $1.23 in that last push.
Bases loaded for Max's Toronto Blue Jays with 1 out, up 2-0 already. The only play I made so far, the Brewers, I laid the 130 to pick up a stick. They're up 5-2, bottom of the fifth against Miami. The New York Mets, a half game back, I think, out of the second wild card spot with Arizona, against Arizona, actually. And they're playing up 7-0 in the bottom.
Yeah, I'm going to get the food. I'll be back in a minute, okay?
All right, bro.
Okay, bro.
What did you have a position on this Mets-Arizona game?
Yeah, Mets, a much stronger play on the under 9 because they're, again, looked like a lot of room there. I mean, that total did touch as low as 8, and I got it at 9. So that definitely hit that one pretty good. And I came down on the Mets in that one. A game just about to go off as well, brother, is St. Louis and Colorado. That one is just starting right now. And I like Colorado as a dog in that one. Dakota Hudson obviously has been awesome. But sharps all over Colorado today. And I think Ann was talking about Colorado with the extreme variance as a home dog.
Are the Mets a half game back right now in the wild card spot? Because that's what Gary, I don't know who our announcer is, Gary Cohen. I think that's what he said last night, was they were a half game back. Is that not true?
Updated wild card coming at you right now. Three games out of the wild card.
Right? Okay. I could have swore Gary Cohen said that they were a half game back behind Arizona in the 9th inning last night. Unless he just
up by 2.5 games. Cubs in the second spot. Milwaukee 1 back. Philly 2 back. Arizona 2.5 back. Mets 3 back.
Okay. So either I heard that wrong or he made a mistake. Washington up 5-0 right now against Minnesota on the road in the bottom of the third. Minnesota's got 1 on, 1 out. I know Strasburg was pitching there. Did you bet that game?
Yeah. Strasburg in the over.
Strasburg in the over. Well, that looks strong right now. Tampa Bay 2-2, bottom of the first with Texas. But Texas has the bases loaded. No outs. Texas
run line for me there. Couldn't settle on the total, though, but obviously heading way over, it looks like, in this one with those early runs in the first, 4 runs in the first. I didn't have a play, believe it or not. On the total. Texas run line was pretty strong.
Top of the second in LA, the Angels down 2-0 to Cleveland. I thought I heard Twatty said that he was going to be on Cleveland tonight. 4-0 now, actually. They think they just scored a home run. Top of the third in Oakland, still no score. Glad I stayed off that alternate total of 13.5 in that Houston game, because there are no runs top of the third. You're on the under there?
Yeah.
That looks solid. And White Sox and Kansas City. I think they were both on Kansas City. White Sox 3-2 right now over the Royals. Top of the second, man on first and 2 outs. So that's basically where we sit right now. And no score, Colorado, St. Louis.
Was a little bit of soccer talk in the chat I saw in there. There are games underway right now. NYCFC 1-1 with Toronto in the 75th minute. Houston and Minnesota, no score. They're early. Colorado and Galaxy, top of the hour. Kind of an evenly matched game. Colorado, the slight home favorite at $1.25. And later on tonight at 9:30 Eastern, Real Salt Lake hosting San Jose. A little bit of soccer.
MLS Chef Mike says LA Galaxy draw no bet at 2.10. All right. Who plays NFL tomorrow? Tampa Bay at Carolina. Historically, the road team on a short week Thursday night is horrendous against the spread. But I mean, does anybody feel good about laying 6.5 with Carolina right now?
Yeah, and I see Pinnacle's gone to -7 at +103.
Have you bet that game?
No, I haven't yet. Haven't yet done anything with it. There hasn't been any, sharp action in my mind that's kind of triggered me one way or the other. But it's been heavy, Jay. Carolina public money spread and money line. Heavy. I mean, it's well over 75% or more of the action. And, fake news or whatever, you can check any of the sites, and I think everyone agrees that it's a heavy public side. The Panthers laying
that makes me want to take the touchdown. But I mean, God, how bad were our road teams the last 5 years on Thursday night?
It's such a dichotomy because right now, a lot of the talk has been division underdogs in the first 2 weeks of the season over the last couple of years, coming in at a strong clip. It might be something like 75%. I'll try to get that for you. I don't want to just
I think it was 17-4 going into week 1, going into last week. I don't know what it was after last week.
Just a sample of a couple of seasons. We're talking division underdogs weeks 1 and 2. There's 3 of them, I think, this week. So that could be. They might have said it goes back to either 2015. I don't think it went back to 2013, but that's pretty strong. Especially in a game where maybe these offenses won't move the ball a little bit.
What's the total in that game?
Yeah, the total's 49.5. I mean, right now it looks like an auto play under. But
that's pretty fucking high, huh?
It is, but it just worries me that the public is kind of leaning towards the under as well, and the move has gone on the under from 50.5 down to 49.5. But I'm not seeing much sharp action that favors that. So maybe I'm willing to wait it out and see. But probably.
I thought Winston would have looked better in Arians' offense, but he looked like shit.
Yeah, it's funny. I heard one of the pundits last night on one of the national radio shows I was listening to. Wasn't even the gambling radio channel, but just saying, I still like Winston, but he's so dumb and it's the typical storyline that we associate with Winston. But when does it start to carry over, right? I mean, we want quarterbacks to be cerebral and some of these guys, they do it with less tools, if you will, than some of the other quarterbacks, some of the ones that succeed. So, it's such a fine line because they're really going to have to make a big decision in Tampa Bay. I mean, I don't know if he'll have a career with another team if his career ends in Tampa Bay, given his, salary requirements. I mean, of course, he would try to land with another team. He might even get another starting job with another team. But could he really, command the money that he thinks he might be worth? Be a fine line for a team to make a decision on that. He still throws in. It's always funny because in fantasy land, he's always one of the kind of highly rostered guys or consistently rostered because his salary is always, a little bit low enough and his production is always a little bit high enough to consider him. And a lot of times he gets some of that yardage in garbage time.
Right.
When they're on the when they're down, a couple of touchdowns and they get one score, maybe even not in the back door. Hello to everyone in the chat.
What's going on, boys?
Got the Swiss Chalet chicken, guys.
What is that?
I don't know if you guys want to see me eat it.
No, I just want
like an
I
animal.
just want to see it up to the screen if it's something to look at.
No, we haven't given out no picks yet, my friend. The only thing I was on was Milwaukee.
I'd like to have that plate right now.
I waited freaking almost 45 minutes for it, I paid delivery, boys.
Yeah,
I don't know if you guys want to see me eat it, though.
I didn't think I was going to be on tonight, Nick, but I popped on. It probably won't be like a normal marathon show, but we'll be on for a couple hours.
I don't think we have to start going that, especially have that other content. But it is a live betting show, and obviously when football's on, baby.
Well, I'm looking for a live play in this on this total in this Houston-Oakland game.
Anyone want an MLS play? Viral video says New York CFC first, Toronto FC first and over 1.
Let's go TFC. If we win this game today, we jump to 4th place in the Eastern Conference. Let's go. Nick, there's always soccer plays in the Discord.
I don't know what viral video means there, because that game. Like I said, that game's late in the second half. I think he might. Is he saying that's what he had? Not sure. Viral's always on top of it, so I think I'm just seeing a mixed message there about something of maybe a game that was,
Sean Watson
1-1 at halftime, right? Oh, is that what? I didn't. Sean took the day off, I think. If I'm not mistaken.
I might tell Chef Mike.
Took a day off.
I might tell Chef Mike on that LA Galaxy draw no bet.
What's a draw no bet again?
That means if it ties, you don't lose.
Like a push. Yeah.
Like there's no 3-way money line.
A push is a push.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah. I think Jimmy's going to pop in, hang out for a little bit.
Oh, well, that's why we got to be on Wednesday nights, of course.
Yeah, I didn't think he was going to have time.
No,
because he got that show.
I liked it, but you know what? I can't believe that I'm not up to speed on the Pick Six contest.
Yeah, really.
I followed the FDR contest boards. In fact, I'm in 4th place in the DJ Big Boss College Football Monthly Contest. DJ Big Boss is in 2nd, but I'm in 4th.
Nice.
I think I'm 7-2.
Home run.
LA Galaxy draw no bet is plus 120. Sign me up, Mike.
All right.
I'm nailing it for a
Home
half
run
unit.
Houston, George Springer. Fuck.
Oh.
Should have gone on that minus 160. That's gone. Springer's really good.
Let me get on that. Let me get on a little Let me get a little Galaxy. And what else? And then I saw Viral. Viral actually says it was not NYCFC. He meant Salt Lake.
Oh. Thanks for
which is a late game. Which late game, 9:30 Eastern. Let me do my MLS wagering here.
So what, Ramon? You got under 11 in this game.
Yeah.
The number's at 7.5, plus 100 to the under. Do you see anything live that has any value?
Yeah, let me take a look at that. 7.5 under at even money. Let me look at that here. I don't want it to be stale by the time I get to it. I might prefer. I don't know if you're looking to get back on an over somehow, Max.
Overs are always more interesting.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because it's 7.5. Like I said, I have the under in the game, but I think it's 7.5. I'd look to. I think that's okay. I think that's the okay number to go over. But if that's after the Springer home run, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, it's 7.5 minus 130. So if I'm jumping on it, it's going to 8. So I have to decide yes.
Right. No, that's what I'm saying. 7.5 to me. Like I said, I don't want to talk. I'm trying to be a market player here, but I think 7.5 is the right number if you're trying to get involved with an over in that game.
Enough said. I'm on it.
What's up, Jim?
Half my money will I don't think I was ready to get back involved with a arbitrage there just because I'm in such good position.
You got that Jameson in your veins, cuz?
Yeah, man, a little fucking angry over here about some shit going on in the Oval Office. So I'm trying to listen to a little Beatnut Street Level, little Wu-Tang to get me not so fucking angry. And to get out of my fucking anger, all I got to do is look at these scores. I'm fucking eating, although I don't like seeing the Marlins put up 3 there. But I'm fucking eating all over the place. Hit with Baltimore first 5. The fuck was that? Like plus 170. I got the over Boston, Toronto. I gave that out as a Red Girl birthday pick. The Brewers are going to come back and win that game without Yelich. I should have jumped on the Mets on 9/11. Like, it was a gift from Dom. Although Dom, I don't know if Dom betted. I think he just took the team total over. But I'm on the Nationals first 5, going to eat fucking there. I stayed off the race. I'm on the Indians -1. I'm going to eat fucking there. I stayed off the Royals White Sox game. I may have made my first loss on this fucking card. Actually, I have the over in Atlanta Philly. That's not a lock. But I have the first loss on the card will be the Oakland Houston over. So if I just look at the money that's about to be in my fucking account, I'll be a little less.
The only bet I made was that Brewers bet, and they were up 5-2. Are they shitting the bed?
It's 5-5, but they're going to show heart. And this was the first time in 4 or 5 months I've gone against the market. Not 4 or 5 months, maybe what? As soon as I went down 30 units, I stopped going against the market. I stopped taking unders in Colorado. I went against the market the first time. Let me see who's in the chat. Sorry, I've fucking filled with anger right now, and I didn't see who's in the chat, man. Let me see who's. There we go. There's the squad right there. There's a squad. Ron Lofton, Deer Slayer, Ski, D Money, man. D Money having our backs, man. D Money checking out our shows. We need them. D Money's the truth. Thanks for having me,
bro. Come on. I love you to death. Yeah, it's always shitty when like work life is not smooth.
You know what? We don't need to get into it, but you can count on me. You can count on me fucking 24/7, 7 days a fucking week. You know what you're going to get all the time. You always know what you're going to get. There's never going to be something where you're like, Jimmy did that? That doesn't. It's never. You're always going to know what you're going to fucking get. You might not like it. All right, that's up to you. But
you're as real as they come, right?
Well, I'm not. I mean, thank you for saying. But I'm saying you know what you're going to get, and I'm going to give you my fucking all the time. And when people, when people drop the ball around me, it makes me fucking angry. Especially if I, stick up for. I don't want to get into it too much. Let me see Max's face, man. I can only see.
He's eating, Jimmy. He's eating.
Yeah,
chicken.
Max is currently inhaling like either donuts or a chicken dish. You never know what is going to be in the kid's mouth.
Well,
that's a good-looking chicken.
Let's not hammer that angle.
I mean, food.
It's Swiss Chalet. It's Swiss Chalet.
I mean, food.
Tastes like chicken.
Good old rotisserie.
Hey, Ramon, nice to see you, man. How you doing?
I couldn't believe, man, Jimmy. I saw a Red Girl tweeted out her birthday picture. Red Girl's like 38 or 39 years old, huh?
Red Girl's fine.
I couldn't believe that. When I saw, those old videos that she always had, I thought she was a younger lady. No, she's a young lady. She's a very young lady. I couldn't believe I saw it. She said she was 38 or 39.
She's 39.
I'm going to be so.
Truth, man.
I'm going to be so. Go ahead, Jim.
Oh no, I mean, just she's. We talk about being real, man. There you go. 39 years old. She has raised a family, and she's gorgeous. She's fun to hang out with. She's smart. She's articulate. She's the kind of woman you want to take out to a nice dinner.
There you go. There's nothing wrong with those women.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be fucking disgusted if I bet this Brewers, if I tailed Ant and Twatty. Bro, these kids are up 40 units, 50 units on the baseball season. I can't bet something they're on and win. It's amazing.
I wouldn't worry about this spot. The only fear here was that Lopez was going to shut the door. So the fact that it went from 5-2 to 5-5 shouldn't concern you at all. This is a spot where heart comes up. And it brings me to this Dolphins fucking Patriots game. The Patriots aren't going to. The Dolphins aren't going to lose by 40 points. I'm sorry, they're not going to go back.
I couldn't believe that line. I couldn't believe that line for week 2. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. The Patriots right now look like the best team in football. After 1 week, I guess you would say the Ravens and the Patriots, but the Patriots defense is the best it's been since probably 2003, like early into the dynasty, because that defense looks amazing. And they didn't play the Dolphins. They played Pittsburgh, who's always capable of putting up points, right? And to think about what that offense is going to look like with Antonio Brown, fuck me. That team looks really, really good.
I think in all honesty, I think there was a difference with Randy Moss and Antonio Brown. And
I'm not talking about the offense. I was just
Randy
talking about
Moss smoked weed. That's it. He never got accused of raping anybody.
There you go. We don't need to go into the obviously the rape thing's hanging over everything, but Antonio Brown talks nonsense. Randy Moss smoked weed. That's it. So yeah. I see a big fucking difference between the two guys. Belichick saying you said the same things about Moss as you did about Brown. I see a huge difference between the two guys. Huge difference. So
but I wasn't comparing them. I'm talking about the defense.
No, I feel you. I feel you, and I don't know why I don't have a Patriots ticket in my pocket. It's stupid. I should have at plus 700. What are they now? It's stupid not to have it in your pocket. Why wouldn't you want that in your pocket? Because I already have I only put 100 on the Chiefs. But I guess I don't have any.
How good did Lamar Jackson look yesterday, bro? I don't Sunday. I don't know if it was because Miami is that bad or if it's because he took a big step.
You're tossing lobs to Hollywood Brown. Let's wait and see. Viper MB said, "I told you Nats -1, they need -1 parlay straight casher." Viper MB, I'm on the first 5 with the Nats, but man, I feel like I'm about to be. That last week was my worst week of 2019.
Really?
Can you believe that? The first week I have Teddy Covers on my show every morning is my worst fucking week.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't. It's not Teddy Covers' fault. I'm just saying it was interesting that kind of fell on the same.
So spot. The KegCast, we went 18-6 the first week of the NFL season.
Ooh, shit! Is that live plays? How much?
11-4 live betting. I have to count last night's Monday night game though. But prior to last night's game, we went 11-4 live betting, and the rest betting pregame. Yeah, it was a good week.
D Money saying another 100. My futures are off of my book. But how do I not have? How did I not have the Patriots at plus 700? Just $100, like just a small bet on them. Why wouldn't I have that in my pocket? I don't understand.
I don't understand the Miami line when the Patriots have a problem in Miami every year. Every year, they're just beating them or they're losing. 18 is a lot to give a pro football team, bro.
Oh, it's. I mean, you know what? I go back to the game by Ken Dryden. So it was the first book, meaningful book I ever read in my life. You know, I get there was maybe a couple others, but really, like, it was a grade 6, and it was just like, it was the biggest. It was like the biggest book I'd ever read, and it just grabbed me. Okay, you couldn't get my head out of this fucking thing. And I would envision Dryden as this young goaltender in Montreal. And I always envisioned him. He would talk about, being in the car with the windows down. And he would always talk about how things weren't said. People didn't say anything to him, but they knew. That was the thing. They knew. Like, I remember this from fucking 30 years ago. They fucking knew. He'd look at them. They'd look at him. They'd give him that fucking "you're the greatest" nod. No words needed to be said. They fucking knew. And Ken Dryden would drive to the fucking grocery store. He'd look at people, and they all fucking knew that he was the fucking man. He won them the cup as a fucking rookie, and everybody fucking knew. He had a couple buttons down on his fucking shirt. About to look around at everybody. Everybody knew, and no one had to say anything. And I go back to that with the Dolphins because it's the complete opposite. Now you can't leave the house. You want to live like that, where you can't leave the fucking house? Ramon, what do you think is going to happen on Sunday? Because I think that Dolphins are going to step up to some point. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to bet on them, but do you want to not leave the house for the next 6 months?
It'd be crazy if I was the one that didn't come in on the Dolphins in this game, but it's just so interesting that from the signals, it's been the Sharps. Sure, it's going to be a public avalanche of money still at this price on the Patriots. But the Sharps are the one that they were all over those early numbers. I mean, come on, as low as 15.5, 16.5, 17. They got great prices, and now you're getting into that range. And like Jay said, I mean, every time the Patriots head to Miami, it's just, if anything, if they don't lose, they're looking to get in and get out type of thing. That just seems like they keep it under control, keep the game under control, just try to use their talent to grind out that victory. But look, what happened, what happened last year? Miami ended up winning by a point at home. The year before, Miami won by a touchdown at home. 2016, a 10-point win at home for the Dolphins. And so, you can look back and say these are historical, but this is the way this situation has been with these two teams forever. Now, maybe we're the only caveat I think in this is, are we dealing with a historically bad Miami team? I mean, there's a reason why some books right away offered a prop, the Dolphins to go winless.
When I'm living in Parkdale beside Max, and Max and I didn't know each other. We didn't know each other back then. But this would have been the spot on the under 5.5 that I would have hammered. I would have absolutely hammered. And now here, because I have a paycheck, I doubled my bet to $400. I'm still thankful to have it, but it's about taking advantage of situations. And here, if the Patriots cover, you're not taking advantage of a situation. I have not heard anyone say take the Patriots to -20. I know it's down to like -18.5 or 19, but I don't hear anybody doing that. How are you, Max? Are you hammering this spot? Dolphins, Patriots?
Jim, I came into your show today, and I made it very simple. Tom Brady is married to who? Gisele. Yeah. Gisele is a special woman. Tom has been lucky enough to have babies with Gisele. Giselle's given him that privilege. What does Gisele want from Tom? Win football games, cover spreads, and then you can come home and you get some nookie.
What's happening right now? What's happening?
So based on that theory that Gisele is like a voodoo artist that controls Tom Brady and controls his excellence, because we didn't see that at Michigan. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been a 6th or 7th round draft pick. The Patriots will cover in smoggy, humid Miami against this team that should be going to the CFL.
So Gisele doesn't only want him to win; she wants the spread covered too, Max.
Yes, she does. She cares about
And
spreads.
whenever Tom does fail, we get
That's good to know.
Giselle's spin on it as to why it went or whose fault was it. It wasn't Tom's fault.
I love that. I love the he can't throw it and then catch it too. When she said that line, I was like, man. I know it's not easy to dump your pregnant wife, but he made that call. You know. I don't think
Gisele, the power of Gisele. That's all I got to say about that. That
Well, I mean-
defense, she has voodoo dolls for every single member, and that's why they played so good on Sunday.
She's making, and probably not anymore. I don't know if she is anymore, but she was like 2 years ago making way more money than he is. Is she still bringing in cake?
I think she's still bringing in cake, and I think that she also has a whole bunch of side businesses that are going on also. Plus, her name is just money, so.
Yeah, no, she's good people, man. But still, ditching your pregnant wife. I guess Gisele Bundchen makes you do that, you know?
Exactly. There are just some women that are like that in this world, and I'm sorry, like, Tom Brady's going to be able to take care of that child. That doesn't mean that he has to be with that freaking woman, though.
The current line on the Super Bowl
2-1
odds
Houston.
are the Patriots at 4-1 right now.
David says she's not hot. She's not hot. You know what?
Well, she's got pointy elbows.
She's a supermodel. Look, I'm not sitting here saying that she's like incredibly hot, but I do like the way she stands behind her man, you know? That's all. And she makes a lot of money.
She makes a shit ton of money.
I'm eating in baseball right now, and that's getting me. I'm, just hanging out with you guys. I'm getting a little more calmed down. I was fucking angry.
I wish you tell us all the SBR chatter with it.
Also hitting with the Orioles first five with that big plus line, that fucking helps, man. Getting that money back I lost yesterday. People making fun of me for being on the Orioles first five yesterday. Getting that money back. Now I need the Red Sox to step up a little bit. I need to get to this over 10.5 because I gave it to Red Girl as her birthday play. I need to cash that. I do think the Brewers are going to take care of business, though. I don't think we need to worry too much there. I'm about to cash that Nationals first five. That feels good. I should have taken the Tampa Bay, Texas over because I did not trust Kittredge, who's the guy? Pruitt, the Kittredge-Pruitt combination. I wish I jumped on there. I got Cleveland -1. And now they're starting to score runs in Houston, so who knows? And I stayed off of that St. Louis spot. Something just didn't feel right there. And maybe St. Louis still wins this easily, but I stayed off of it.
Toronto might get you the over alone. They got runners on first and second, no outs in the bottom of the sixth.
I'm ahead of you because I've got 2 outs with a runner on second.
Oh, okay. Then you're way ahead of me.
Yeah, man. That's sportsbookreview.com, man. That's our odds page, homie. Yeah, man, we're right there. Malik Ogburn says I'm going to buy you Patriots on the show. Patriots. Look, I'm not against the Patriots, but I do love the Bills. Max, you got no love for the Buffalo Bills, man, right across the border from us?
Oh, I got love for the Buffalo Bills. They're Gabe Morency's team. I got love for Gabe Morency. I got love for the Buffalo Bills. But the fact is, they love to bring in these veterans that don't want to be there. Then they underperform, and Buffalo Bill fans are the ones that have to suffer. So it's like, let's just develop. Let's hope that Josh Allen can make non-dumbass decisions. And let's hope that Devin Singletary turns into the next NFL's leading rusher because he is a very high-power, high-octane running back. Watch him at FAU. Think that he has great potential in Buffalo in the NFL.
I think
Don't even get me on that fucking disgrace Sunday. Jets up 16-0, 16-3 to start the fourth, and you can't put away the Buffalo Bills? I almost broke this fucking sign. Disgusting.
Yeah, I mean, Mosley. It was one person. You lost one person. That's what happens. If your team is weak, hey, my under 1,125 yards, Le'Veon Bell, 1,125 and a half. Guy puts up 60.
Yeah, you're looking good so far through one game on that. That's for sure.
it's not just one game, man. This guy's not fucking running. He might catch for 600 or 700, but he's not running for nothing, man.
Yeah, he got that money for sure.
It's not even really. You're right, and I have no problem with him going for the money, but it's also an offensive line situation.
Right. Pittsburgh produces running backs. You can kind of plug them in when you get one that's especially talented. They're going to achieve a little more, maybe as Bell did, but the Steelers are competent enough to just kind of replace him and trust him with them.
I agree, and then also we have to point out that even as a Browns fan, I have to acknowledge this. The Pittsburgh Steelers have developed a good bunch of offensive linemen, specifically guards and left tackles over the years. So it's like, okay, makes sense. You got a freaking awesome line. And now you're in the Jets where it's not so good. But,
shut your mouth.
Hey,
I don't mean it offensively. I think that's another run in the Houston game.
Okay.
No. Bases loaded. Bases loaded, 1 out, 2-1. Let's go. Jim, I'm on the over 7.5. I hit that live on the show.
Oh, nice. That's exciting.
Hopefully I can get that. Hopefully you get your over. Well, fuck. Now there's fucking Ramon's on the under. You're on the over.
Oh, I'm in really nice shape here on this card, but things can change quickly in baseball, as we all know. Let's talk about this football card. Jay, 2 road favorites. I'm about to stay off. Okay, so here. Okay, let me go this. I'm about to make a move either tonight or in the morning, or at least before I get in here tomorrow morning, on the Falcons Eagles over. And in fact, I think that over 51 is going to be my 2-unit play in the contest. It's still just going to be a regular. Although I do think I made the $200 Ravens bet, but 150 on the rest of the card. I think I might go back to 200 on these plays, but the Falcons, Eagles over 51, I think is going to be my best spot. And then I think I'm also going to make a move on the Browns. I know the Browns are so public, but I do not trust your New York Jets. So those are my two. I would like you to touch on those 2 spots. And then I'd be very interested to hear what you have to say, Jay, about the 2 road favorites that are money's going in the other direction, that being the Bills and the Chargers.
I think if there aren't 18 accepted penalties against the Browns again, like there was the first week, I don't see an issue with that play at all. I think the Browns should beat the Jets pretty easily. I think they're, as long as they don't shoot themselves in the foot, I think you're good there. I think that the disparity in talent is huge. So I agree. The Jets are shit. The Jets are shit. It pains me to say that, but they are. As far as the total, FanDuel has it right now at 50.5.
Really?
So that
No.
No, I'm staring at it right now.
We're talking about the Cleveland Jets game?
No, my over in the
thank you.
Eagles.
We're talking about the Falcons Eagles game.
Wow, because it's 51 across the board, all minus 110s.
Yeah, let me check DraftKings. Let me check the other New Jersey book.
What do you think about that over? Because I'm about to hammer it. Well, I shouldn't say hammer it because God. Next,
I think I'm not worried about the Eagles.
I'm not worried about.
I'm not worried about that, and I'm not really worried about the Falcons scoring points at home. So I agree. I agree with that total. I think that game probably goes over. But why? What did that total open at?
51. It's just not moved. Done nothing.
DraftKings.
I think the bookmakers are going to have to relent. I mean, this is a lot of action on the over. 3/4 of the public tickets and money. I think they're going to have to move eventually. So I'd prefer to get on the over now, and I like the over as well.
Yeah, DraftKings is hanging 51 even. Yep. But you can get a 50.5 right now, FanDuel.
What is this number in this Chargers Lions game? Are they just like hanging freaking like a piece of like a strawberry ice Krispy Kreme donut on a string in front of my face, being like, "Here, lead. I'll lead you. I'll lead you. I'll lead you." 2.5 points seems really short. Am I smoking too much 420?
2.5 points does seem really short.
It's really short.
Let's look at it
I'm
a
so
little-
happy I stayed off that Lions side in week 1.
No, I agree. And Damon saying Chargers suck going east. This is a game they lose. Let's look at it differently. Let's say the final score of the Lions-Cardinals game happened after the third quarter. Then we'd be sitting here and we'd be saying, oh, the Lions are going to take care of business again. They let their foot off the gas in the fourth quarter against a bad team in their barn, and that happens when you have a shit coach like Matt Patricia. So that's the only other way to look at it. I agree with you, Max, but the Lions were in complete control till they took their foot off the gas. And we've seen many, many teams take their foot off the gas and deal with the consequences of it in every sport, in every situation. And that's the other angle. That's the reason why the Sharps are on both the Giants and the Lions, is only because of that angle. That's not an angle I agree with, but that's the other angle.
Yeah, but when I look at these Chargers and how they performed last week, like I know that it ended up going to overtime. They ended up being able to win the game, but there's some talent, there's some cohesion, there's some chemistry, and there's some good, decent play calling that's happening on the LA Charger coaching staff where I can't rely or depend on that in the Lions. This is not a team that's on Arizona's level. This is a 10-team win from last year, aren't they?
This is a great. This is like a Colts football team. This is a football team that we thought could play in the Super Bowl, and then they lost their best player, Derwin James. So you take your best player off the field, and their defense didn't look good. And the Colts are a really good football team. So the Colts were going to stupid thing. The Colts had a chance to go to the Super Bowl. And they lose.
I had them. I had a ticket in my hand for them to win the Super Bowl.
See, I didn't, thanks to Joe Yurkovich. But so I didn't. But how do we not bet the Chargers, Max? I'm just telling you the other side. I still agree with you. How do we not bet the Chargers?
Yeah, I'm gonna struggle with it all week because I'm gonna keep on looking at it. I'm gonna have to remember that there is a reason why this line is 2.5 and it's not moving.
Well, I had to stop myself all week from not betting Detroit last weekend, and it ended up working out for me. But they were firmly playing better and in control through 3 quarters. I completely agree with that. But I got lucky. Their defense though, Jimmy, was a lot worse in week 1 than analytically projected.
Definitely.
They're right now ranked 23rd. Football Outsiders has them in defense adjusted value over average, which they were basically in the top 5 all last year.
So what do you have to say about the Broncos defense?
I think that if there's a road favorite that I'm confident about in week 2 right now, I think the Bears they might shut the Broncos out. Right now they have the 5th ranked defense in the league, right? And I did not see 4 defenses that were better than the Bears, even though they lost the game. I'm not sold on Mitch Trubisky at all. That's why I took their season win total under. But I do think they will do enough to beat Denver because Denver's defense looked like shit.
Well, that's what I'm at. I mean, what do you
they
think?
Did not look good.
Miller? So you think Chubb and Miller are going to have bad years?
What are you doing, Oliver?
Say it again, bud.
Do
you think that Chubb and Von Miller are going to have below average seasons this year because of week 1?
Well, you know what? The thing is, in order for that defense to be good, they have to have well above average seasons, right? So even if they have an average season for them, that defense is still not in great shape because there isn't a lot around them that makes that defense great, if not for that front 7. Do you agree with that?
Yes, I agree with that, but I don't think that we should judge the Broncos or the Chargers defenses yet.
I agree. It's 1 week, but I think that the best unit on the field on Sunday is the Bears defensive unit, right? They put themselves in a position for that offense to be successful all year last year. And I expect them, because that defense is special, not good. I think it's special. So I expect them to do the same thing this season. I think that, especially coming off that loss in week 1 to Green Bay, I think that they're going to win that game, probably by double digits. And I would be shocked if Denver scores more than 14 points.
Well, I'm not taking the Bears on Sunday. I'm not taking them. I'm not saying that I'm going to take the Broncos, but I'm not going to take the Bears going on the road in a Mile High after fucking Chubb looks like trash. Chubb, I think still, even after a bad week 1, can win Defensive Player of the Year. You know what? Trubisky, everyone making fun of Flacco. Trubisky's trash to me, man.
I agree. He's not that good.
Under City, you guys are just describing a whole handicap for an under 40. I mean,
yeah, you know that I almost sent that out at 40.5. But
well, why has not that? There's TH412, our guy TH412, saying under. Why has that total not moved? I mean, I asked Teddy Covers about it on my show today. I was like, with the 40.5 sitting there staring at us, why are we not all on it? Why is it not moving?
Oh, well, man, he catched out of the wall. God damn it. Fuck you.
Well, that's my point, though. Why hasn't that total moved in 3 days?
It's
so I'm not seeing much sharp action on that total, but I'm concerned that the tickets are running under and the money is going over. But still, I mean, just the full description and the impeccable defense that we know that the Bears are going to bring us, and we expect Denver to be a coherent defensive unit. And we're talking about 2 quarterbacks that obviously struggled in week 1.
Yeah, I mean, Flacco was not good, but he did throw for 270 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, he just wasn't able to.
But I just wasn't impressed with his decision making, really.
The red zone decision making.
Right, right.
Tacked a lot of that on that he kept hitting Sanders late, 4 or 5 balls, got 50 yards right at the end of the game. But
there's a lot of people that are bullish on these Bears, and fuck, I'm not one of them, man. And I'm not saying
I'm looking to get a 3.
Jim, I took their season win total under 9.5, so I agree with you. I just think that defensive unit for the Bears is a level and a half above anything that Denver puts on the field.
No, I don't.
No,
I don't think so. No, I don't think so. I think the Bears, both offenses are just pedestrian. I mean, who's walking slower across the street? They both walk like fucking.
Right. So you don't. Yeah, but I'm talking about the defense.
Oh, sorry.
So you think that the Denver Broncos defense on par with the Bears defense?
No. I do think that Denver's pass rushes, although they showed nothing.
I said the Bears defensive unit.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. The Bears defensive unit is stronger.
What I'm saying is I think that the Bears unit and anything that the Broncos put on the field on Sunday. You don't agree with that?
I just think I agree with that from a generic better than anything they put on the field, but you have Chubb and Von Miller. I put that pass rush up with the Bears pass rush. The Bears second.
But think about one of the best quarterbacks in the league to get out of the pocket is Aaron Rodgers, and he couldn't fucking move.
He didn't play all preseason in the last.
Joe Flacco is a statue. Right, but your legs still work, right? I mean, like, okay, maybe the decision making and the throwing, but he's still one of the best quarterbacks to get out of the pocket in the league, and that happens in your sleep, right? I mean, your movement. I mean, Joe Flacco might as cement.
No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. But if you had expectations of Rodgers doing anything week one, I mean, no preseason. Last time.
I didn't. I wasn't on the side. I wasn't on the side in the game, right? But I did expect him at least to be able to get out of the pocket.
There's no question the Bears' defense is better than the Broncos' defense, but I think that Von Miller and I almost wish the Bears had have crushed the Packers week one, because then I could take the Broncos as a dog on the money line at plus 240. And at this price point, I'm not going to take the Broncos, but I'm also not going to sit here and say, yeah, the Bears smash. I mean, I have no reason to believe in the Bears. I have no reason to believe in the Bears wide receivers or offense in general. You can trust the Bears defense because of their just the skill set of the front seven and the secondary, but losing Fangio hurts, and I don't think that was any example of a Green Bay Packers offense. I mean, Devontae did nothing, absolutely nothing. I mean, Devontae Adams did nothing. There's a lot of wide receivers who did nothing in week one. I'm not saying you're wrong with the Bears. I'm not bullish on them, and I'm not going to have the Bears on my card. I don't think.
I haven't sent anything out for the NFL yet, but I do think that they probably win and cover that game.
No, I feel you. Ramon, what are your best looks on this NFL card?
I like the under in that game.
Anything else?
Yeah, I do have some other plays. Under in New England, Miami. I think New England looks to get in and get out. Whether or not it's a 15-point game or a 3-touchdown game, I think that remains to be seen. I think that's where the public is going to have their hands tied a little bit when deciding on the side. But like under in New England and Miami, also under in Arizona, Baltimore. I mean, I graded this game out closer to a 43. I understand Baltimore, that was just an unprecedented performance, but, they're going to repeat it against I don't want to even give Arizona any credit, but I just have to rate Miami as way, way down after that performance.
Yeah.
They were the worst team in my power ratings going into week one, Miami.
Jay, what are you going to do on Thursday night? Because I'm going to stay.
I can't road teams on Thursday night. Like I said to you in the chat of the Pick Six show, historically road teams get crushed against the spread on Thursday night games. But who the fuck wants to lay 6.5 with the Panthers? I can't do it. No matter how good home teams on Thursday nights are against the spread. I can't lay. It's now 7 at Pinnacle. I can't do it. So I don't know. That total seems a little high to me, but it's already moved a point towards the under. Right, Ramon? What's it moved? A point towards the under?
Yeah.
So maybe at 50, what was it, 50.5? Maybe I would have looked towards the under. I thought that Winston would look better in that system than he did. He looks like fucking. I mean, I don't know how the guy still starts in the league, bro.
I don't know how you trust him. I know this sounds stupid, but after the W E to W speech,
Alex said he's 0-7 since eating a W.
But I mean, if I said, Max, I need to have a big night tonight, capping, I've been studying, I've been working hard, I'm ready to go, and Max, put his hands in his mouth and told me that we're going to eat W's, that I would no longer speak with Max. I would no longer ask him anything about how he felt about my action. That's the kind of thing of, you want a leader to lead you in the right direction, not put his fist in his mouth.
Bro, I forgot about the eating a W thing. Oh man.
Max, what are your looks on this card?
I don't have any looks on the NFL card. I'm only looking at college football this week.
What's your college football looks?
Well, I want to fade Cal as a 14-point favorite at home versus North Texas. I want to find my way onto Wyoming, but it's like in the mid-20s, so I'm hesitant right now. I'm missing the fucking best of the Sam Houston State North Dakota number, but I think Sam Houston State wins the game outright. So even at 7.5, I'll split my bet, take 7.5, and then take like plus 250 on the money line, and I'll fucking call that a day. And then there's a couple other games that I'm interested in. Probably this Texas State Southern SMU game, but no one really wants to talk about it, so I won't talk about it.
No, talk about it. I'm writing notes.
Well, listen, the ponies on paper should be able to freaking beat Texas State, an in-state rival, and Texas State has shown its inability to put together consistent scoring throughout 4 quarters of a game by way of their Wyoming freaking second half debacle, where they forgot how to play offense and what got them points in the first half. I just think that SMU is the type of team that's going to win this game 49-17. So when you give me 16 to 18 points, I think that there's some interest for me betting wise. But the other game that I'm really interested in is this TCU Purdue game. Yeah. The lines flipped. I don't know why Purdue isn't going to go up and down the field on TCU. This isn't a TCU strength. Fucking G. Patterson fucking like powerhouse of the fucking pass. So
I think the card that's on play that Max bet already on his card that's most intriguing to me is that Colorado Air Force game. Why is Colorado only laying 3.5 points to Air Force? Is it because they get an emotional come from behind win against the Big Ten team, Air Force coming in off a bye? Why is that line 3.5 points? It seems off, doesn't it? I think Max is on the right side, but I'm scared to bet it.
Man, I'm just writing notes right now. I like, our Raven in the Desert as a pretty good read on Sam Houston, and he was on them week 1, and I think that's a nice look. I need to spend some more time with this card. I made a mockery of I had such a bad week last week, and God, it just keeps eating at me. But I like Max's looks, and I've got them down: Cal, Wyoming, Sam Houston State, SMU, and Purdue. And you're also on Colorado, which I'm going to put on as just. Can you expand on that, Max?
Yeah, Colorado. First off, this is a team that has the perfect opportunity to really challenge for some clout in the Pac-12 in football. I think that they have good maturity along the offense and defense. They got a solid offensive scheme that they're running. And I think that they're able to change on the fly if something isn't working. I think that this is a team that showed their resilience last week at home. I don't think that they're at a maturity level where they're going to just have a look ahead spot, or they're going to have a letdown spot. I think the coaching staff is smart. I think the coaching staff calls the right plays based on what is going on in the game and what the confidence level of their team is, and I think that they're going to be able to cover this. I think that they do have to be worried about Air Force's abstract offense, but I think that this is just going to be another test for them. And I think that if they want to really take that next step, they got to smoke freaking Air Force at home, and I'm putting my money on it. So
they open against the Pac-12 next week too. I like Montez as a quarterback. I think he's really good. Had almost 400 yards against Nebraska last week. I think that Max is right, except the line makes me a little nervous.
The one thing with Montez is that he just needs to realize that once he's out of the pocket, there is this thing called throwing out to the sidelines. So it's like, don't take the hit if you don't have to. You know what I mean? And he does have a little problem taking hits on the outside when he gets out of the pocket.
I hate to flip it, but are we all eating off the Chicago Sky? I mean, I only put $100 on it, but we all eating off the Chicago Sky tonight?
I didn't bet it, but Ramon's eating with you.
Nice. I mean, it's just going to be fucking $90, but
$90 is $90, bud.
He never hurt nobody, you know.
Exactly.
When I'm back,
wages.
you know, when I'm back from Parkdale beside you, Max, I'm gonna be getting after it for real again, man.
Yo, I'm waiting. I'm hoping.
Man, you know what? I don't really want to. You're pretty much the only bright light in fucking Parkdale, man. Get the cockroaches back on. I don't want that shit. But when you're in Parkdale, you find your edge and you fucking eat off of it. When I'm down here in Costa Rica like a little bitch in the sunshine, afraid to go out alone, then I'm betting $100, $200 bets, you know.
Well, I don't think that you're a little bitch or that you're scared of any kind of shit like that. So I think that you've showed enough brass in your fucking time.
Two crazy trends that really had to, kind of get into this to support that Air Force position. Air Force 13-4 ATS after winning by 28 or more points. They blew out Colgate last week. Colorado 1-9 against the spread after playing a game of 60 or more total points the previous week.
Okay, do you bet based on these trends?
No, I would say I do not base my bet strictly on these trends.
But will those trends stop you from getting on Colorado?
Not necessarily, no. I mean, my lean was to Air Force, so I mean, I've kind of pulled back on, what I was doing after your assessment.
Well, you're on the West Coast, so you have a lot more access to watching them than I do. You know what I mean? So you're gonna come across online and like paper publications that are gonna have information across them more often than I am. You know what I mean? So I would be more trusting your opinion than my opinion.
Sean Watson said FSU is 1-3 after farting in the wind, 2-1. QB got laid and she was upside down. All right. Well, there you go. So Sean is a big fan of those trends. My favorite college look so far is Central Florida.
Yeah, it's the only bet I've made.
That's actually I made one more bet. I like Ohio State a lot. I think historically Indiana plays them close. I just don't see it this week. But I really like Central Florida, man. I think they're going to make a statement against Stanford. I think Dylan Gabriel's really good. What he didn't do last week impressed me, and that was make a bunch of mistakes. They are so fucking stacked at running back. I mean, Greg McCray, Otis Anderson, Bentavious Thomas, all almost rushed for 100 yards each. I think that prime time, that game's probably an ESPN game. Costello might be back for Stanford, but that Stanford defense is not what their average defense looks like. I think it's a little weaker than normal. Costello, they'll get a bump from Costello probably being back at quarterback, but I really like Central Florida. I got it at 6.5 because I got it. They were like -7, -105. And I think I paid the dime, made it 6.5 -115. And I think they are going to fucking roll. I bet them on the money line pretty big. That's my favorite look so far.
I want to bring this one up quickly. Nebraska, 13.5-point favorites, night game at home versus Northern Illinois. Does this not scream destruction for Northern Illinois Huskies? Big Ragu, give me your opinion on that, please, and thank you, sir.
NIU is the big play from our Kyle Jack, our MAC expert.
Oh, he's on that? Okay.
He's all over that plus 14. Has the line changed?
Pinnacle's hanging at 13.5, and the rest of the market's 14.
Oh, they're playing Ant's team?
Yeah.
Oh,
Kyle Jack, that's his big play of the week.
All right, so I'm gonna fucking lay off then.
Maybe Ant's going to come to us live from Memorial Stadium.
Yeah, he doesn't he have tickets to go to the game?
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, yeah, he goes to a lot of them. Nebraska looks like a fucking hot turd.
Nebraska fucked me last week.
Yeah, it fucked me also. I had fucking -7 plus 125. Sold the fucking point.
That was another game that I stopped myself from betting. I would have been on it with you, Jim, but I don't know. It just didn't feel right. Up 17-0, I was regretting it.
Look who we have in the chat. Seth Hagen in the chat, man. You know, Seth Hagen's coming down to Costa Rica in a couple weeks, man.
Nice.
They convinced him to move down?
No, he's not moving down. I wish he was, but he's
okay. I was like,
man.
I don't know if he can get. I don't know if those particular pens are available. You know.
I need some friendship down here, man.
I can tell. You need some American/Canadian company.
I do. I'm excited about having Seth down here, man. He's gonna be down here in like 10 or 12 days or some shit. I'm excited about that.
I agree, Muhammad Joma. I have to see Wisconsin play a real team, but I agree they look really good.
Man, Raven and Desert says, poor Jimmy. Hey, Raven and Desert, I'd much rather be in Vegas across from you guys, man. Ain't get robbed by no street hookers.
Oh, I'd love to be in Vegas. Damn.
Man, I don't want to talk about. I shouldn't even bring it up. But Rego looks good for 39, yo.
Let's go. Whoever scores runs in this fucking Houston-Oakland game. Let's go. I need runs. I need chicken tenders. I need honey with those chicken tenders. And they better be from Popeyes.
I need a run from Milwaukee.
I'm going to lose this over Atlanta-Philly.
Wild pitch.
Me too, Jim.
I'm going to lose this over in Boston-Toronto. But other than that, I'm gonna be fucking eating, man. I'm gonna be eating. I got. You know, I'm gonna have a big, nice winning day. Now, I've also got some Giants action -1. I confidently went against the Taint play of the day and Matt Randall. I went against them on this. Logan Webb second start at home. I'm on the Giants -1 for a nice big juicy score, and then I'm on Sonny Gray, and I got in on Sonny Gray in the morning, like 20 cents ago. So I'm going to be in a nice spot, man.
Nothing like getting on a little Sonny Gray in the morning.
Yeah, dude, the guy's pitching so well. I mean, who would have thought he'd be able to turn it around like this?
4-2.
4-2?
Yeah.
You say you did something with the side gym in Pittsburgh, San Francisco?
Yeah, I'm on the Giants -1.
Thank you.
I went against the Taint play today, and I need to have a lot of confidence to go against that kind of a situation.
Thank you.
I'm going to tell you on that.
How is the Taint Masters little guy?
Oh, he's great. He's great. So they, he's a very, very tough spot. There's different ways of referring to it, but you know, he had something he needed cut out of his. It was all on the inside and the outside of his stomach, and then once it's cut out, there was a big block or mass, or all these different ways of talking about it. But once it's cut out, I mean, like, is it cancer? Is it something going to be? Is his body going to be riddled with it? And the main thing you need to know is it's benign, because I've known other babies who've had the situation. They cut it out, it's benign, and then you don't hear from it again. When it's cancer, when it's a tumor that's cancerous, then you know, we all know what it's like dealing with cancer, and you know, if you have it, I don't mean to get negative, but if you have it once, cut it out, maybe it comes back, maybe you're littered with it. You know, you have a tumor once, maybe you have tumors all over your body, all that shit. But this was benign. They cut it out. He's not even 4 months old.
Thank God. I couldn't imagine, man. Oh my God.
So they moved him. They've already moved him from ICU to general. He's going to be going home in 24 to 48 hours. And
that's great.
At this point, like, you never want these experiences, but once they happen, the strength and the bond that happens between everybody involved, there's nothing stronger that exists in the world than that bond. And here's Matt with his 3.5-month-old son. I mean, it's just it's all good. It's all good. It's a smiling story, and
God bless.
Briggsy going to be home in like 24 hours, and
That's awesome.
yeah, he's a little fighter, man. Because we already have Nutflush Jr. capping on the show. Don't get it twisted. Briggsy, we're going to hear from Briggsy again, and we're going to hear from Briggsy a lot over the next 40 years. Because I'm only going to be live for like 25, 30 of it. So.
Well,
Yeah.
thank God for that.
Yeah, no, it feels good. It was a really nice day today. Red Girl's birthday, Briggsy's birthday. I don't mean to talk about Red Girl too much, but when you meet her in person, she's the real deal and all that shit,
Well, I always bring her up just because I just remember those videos and they were so from the heart, and I just wondered why they didn't continue. I mean, we see her play, so that's all we need, and we get them every day on Twitter. And
no, we need more Red Girl.
Red Girl is fire. Red Girl is fire.
No, we need more Red Girl. I'm with you too. But it's one of the things that we all know is that you need to have a location that you can shoot in with good sound and good everything. You need all the.
Well,
all these
you still put them on the internet. I just would like to see her more. I would like to see her continue to, develop her craft. I mean, she obviously loves the cap, and she does it pretty well. So, I don't know. Sometimes you don't need a fancy get-up when you're getting, I don't want to say getting started or anything like that. I mean, you can find your own niche.
Oh, wow. I forgot Anthony L. existed. There he is. He's in the chat.
Jim, what did you get the Giants -1 at? What price?
Blue red, Jimmy.
I got the Giants -1 at. All right, give me a second here. I didn't put it in my computer yet, or the Ron Crawford, but I got the money line at -136 and the run line at +145. But you know what? Actually, I know exactly what I betted. I didn't. That's on the show. I betted at -140 +140, so +100.
Oh wow, this is a much worse price right now.
Runner on third, one out. Let's go get that run home.
For San Fran.
No, Oakland-Houston game. I told you I was picking one game. I was going to watch it. I was finding a live bet. And
all right, settle the fuck down.
Yeah.
All
I'm
right.
starting at 420 memory. You don't even smoke.
You need a donut, man. What the fuck's wrong with you?
Jesus
Jim,
Christ.
I know not to eat donuts when you're on the show just because you'll start making fucking double chin remarks. So you settle down also.
Look, I got it too. Not quite as you need the right camera angle. If I was shooting you, I'd be up. I'd hang my camera up so I don't get that extra chin.
Yeah, that's true. But I'm also a very lazy human being. So
there's nothing wrong. Nothing wrong with having voluptuous.
Max and I share the same favorite donut.
Max, with you, we're not asking you to be beautiful.
Exactly, you shouldn't, because all I am is a little bit of insane with a whole shitload of college basketball.
That's what we're asking from you.
Yeah,
That's what we demand from you. It's college basketball,
right.
College basketball. Give us winners, man. That's
Sky and over, there it is. Yeah, double winner. Hey, how about that, Michelle? Sky. Woo! I don't know.
There we go, boys. Cash that for you.
Too fucking easy, man. But in saying that, if I had have overthought of it from a basketball standpoint, Ski Prophet came on our late show and helped me get away from Griner and once I understood that it was a vividness bias with the Mercury winning these one-game playoffs. Once I understood that, it was a simple move on the -7. But then I fucked up. I was still a little panicky, and I still made a bad bet, man. It was a bad bet, a really bad bet. I still took the 6.5, I believe, at juice price like a bitch.
Well, no, I mean, I laid a bad price. I laid a bad total, but it just.
It was a good bet. It was a bad number. Is what you guys mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't mind being the square pub.
Hey, if it cashes, it cashes. That's all I care about in the end of the day. What the number is and if it cashes.
Well, I'm almost getting excited about sending everything in, my numbers in tomorrow, because looking like we're gonna have a nice day. I need the Brewers to take care of business, though, and I expect them to.
Well, I need it for Jay's mental sanity for them to fucking win. Otherwise, he's gonna think that this curse is like a continuance.
I expect them to take care of business.
I'll lose my shit.
I also expect Logan Webb to have a really nice start here at home. I really do. I think it's a pretty easy cap with Bochy and these starting pitchers that come in. If you get them for 3 or 4 games on the road and they get touched and then they come back home, it's a nice park to pitch in regardless of the weather. I think I'm going to eat there, but we'll see. Michelle Rudolph in the house. Love seeing Michelle here. Yeah, Sky. How far did the Sky go, Jay?
I don't really know. You know what, Jim? The last month, I really haven't paid a ton of attention to the WNBA. From what I've seen, I don't see anybody beating the Mystics, but I'm also not going to take them right now at minus 110 to win the championship. The Sky are definitely improved from last season, though. That's for sure. They got those 2 blonde-haired chicks that just shoot daggers from 3. But
Vandersloot jersey for sure, man.
But it's been a lot of double-digit road dogs covering this year in the WNBA, huh?
You know, I also took a step back with WNBA, and part of it was because, we didn't have King Rail, and I truly believe that King Rail, J Money, Ski Profit, those guys, regardless of whether they like each other or anything, was I don't think that any place will have that kind of content. Pinnacle reached out and put out a list of the best basketball content last year, and SBR was on it for the first time ever. Like, SBR has never been on NBA content, and it's because those guys are sharp and different from each other, and like if some of the when you're dealing with sharp intellects and they don't like each other, what's wrong with that? That makes it even more exciting.
Oh, I agree. I think some of the best shows are people that don't like each other.
But didn't their conglomerate kind of come out of friendship though in the beginning? And I don't know, did they get too big for their britches, Jim?
No, it didn't come from friendship. It came from a capping skill. It didn't come from. It came from guys in our chat that had a skill set towards capping. It all started there. It wasn't about friendship at all. It's just about the skill set. I personally, we can't talk business publicly, because that's bad business. But fuck, man, there's within college basketball, there's 2 guys that have a certain skill set within that industry that I know of, and that's Max and G Unit, and that's it. And like for me and my show to succeed, I need Max Monday to Friday on my show. We shouldn't be talking business, but I need Max, and I know other people need you too, Max. But I fucking need you, man.
Well, listen, Jim. I told you at that fucking bar stool at Shoeless Joe's. I'm like, yo, if I'm doing these videos, I'm doing them for you because I want to work with you. I want to learn from you. I want to develop the way that you develop. So, plain and simple, that's how it is.
But I want you to eat fucking cake, man.
Bro, trust me. I want to eat that cake also because I'm a big boy and I got an appetite,
No, I feel you.
But like,
if we can't feed you that cake, then you better get that fucking cake.
Yeah, of course. But at my foundation, it's like there's this guy named Jimmy the Bag, and he's the one that's shining in the light that I can see through all the 420 fucking cloud. Like.
What we were doing last year
was perfect.
no, we can do better. We can be better. And it's
Okay,
not you're doing your thing. But like I actually did go back and look at some of the videos. Like what it treated is if we could, because so what I would do is you'd be the only guest, and I would deal with NHL and NBA on the early show. Maybe I talk about it for 5 minutes on the late show. But then you come on, to be able to break down 65, 70 games quick fire like that is there anything more exciting in this whole industry? I don't know. I don't think there is, man.
Well, if you go 65-5, yeah, that'd be really exciting.
Well, we have to succeed. We have to succeed with our capping.
Yeah.
I think the viewership would go up.
Oh. Man, for real though, that this stuff will go on, but not in front of the screen. But God, Max, I need you so bad. I need you so bad on my show. I'm not going to try. Like I'm not going to try to like I'm not going to try. Try is not the right word. I'm not going to sit on my show and be like, let's break down this NCAA basketball card and I'm going to find you angle. Like I'm always going to be honest and real with everybody. Like I'm not going to be like, okay, I want us all to succeed as a group, and I don't want to feed people horse shit. And I'm incapable of capping 350 schools.
And I respect you for knowing your limits. I take a lot of time and a lot of fucking months to fucking do this, and thank God for Jay and the KegCast this year, because it's literally put freaking $8,000 extra in my pocket that I wouldn't have had, and I probably would have lost an MLB trying to freaking tail guys. So,
Muhammad Joma says, Jimmy, I can help you with NHL this year.
I don't know if Jimmy needs help in NHL.
No, I do need from a capping, from a content spot. But I want to put money in people's pockets so bad in NHL, and I know I can do fucking better because what I was doing, and I wonder what you have to say about this, Max. What I was doing with hockey was I was so cocky, sort of, that I didn't care about the market moves or anything. So I was like, look, as soon as I figure it out, I'll let you know and we'll eat. But with Jin Rummy kind of showing us, because Jin Rummy's a professional sports gambler. I mean, say what you want about him and how he handles things. Say what you want about him. But this guy, he makes his living off of sports gambling. And that's a tricky thing to do, to make your whole bread and butter. Because when I say, I was making my living off of sports gambling, I still was getting like, minimum 20 to 40 G's off of stand-up. So it was not like sports gambling was completely feeding me. So I need to use the market better. I need to understand to get in early. In MLB, I need Ant's help. I need to work together with Ramon and everybody. Jay, what are you cheering for? Am I making money too?
Milwaukee, home
Milwaukee,
run.
7-5.
Whatever. I don't need that. I told you that. But I can do better with the market. What do you think about Jin Rummy's use of the market? Do you think you're going to get more in the night before? Do you think that maybe that our confidence in our capping is taking away from the money we're making?
See, I don't look at it like that for my particular sport, just because I've done roster analysis, I've done developmental analysis and predictions, and I've also done a schedule analysis where I'm coming up with my own lines and I'm doing the capping and breakdown before the game even happens, sometimes 3 or 4 months in advance. When I have a 2.5 point edge on what the odds makers hang from the opening line, I know whether or not to play it or not. I've already done the capping for it. You know what I mean? Obviously, there's alterations based on injuries, based on past performances, to an extent, recent performance, even though we don't want to be biased by that. And then I make my final decision. But I do a lot of the work in the off season so that when I see a 70-game card, I can pick out where I have my edges and then focus and garner my focus. I think that's the best way to deal with volume. But if you're betting the way that Jin Rummy is, who is very selective, who's very disciplined, who is very exclusive, it's a different strategy.
Yeah, it's a different strategy. So, Max, how many of the bets do you get in the night before?
Well, for totals, I have to get my totals in the night before because sometimes you're seeing 7 to 10 point swings by the morning. So that's a guarantee. Sometimes with sides, depending on how public the game is, and if it's like a Power 6 conference game, I will wait. If it's a mid-major or low major, I hit it overnight right away. I don't wait for the market to react on it because I know that some of the best bettors, some of the best cappers are betting those games where it's not going to be like the dude that went to North Carolina and he's just an alum, you know?
Oh. No,
And that's why I think that mid-major basketball has so much profit and potential because you don't have to deal with about 60% of the college betting basketball market on these games.
So when I've watched you, for a couple of years now, and I'm going to watch you for the rest of my life. But what I've seen is, I think, and I don't take this as any kind of, negative, but what I've seen is the way I can make the most money off of you is from your off-season study and the first 3 or 4 weeks of the season.
Yeah, that's fair, 100%, because that doesn't give the books enough time to catch up on all the line gaps that they're having, whether it be totals or it be sides. Like, everybody and their mother is going to be thinking about Manhattan unders from the beginning of the season if they're focused on college basketball. I'm hoping that a lot of people don't think about that, or they don't realize that South Dakota State lost freaking 90% of their freaking offense from last year and think, oh yeah, that's the school Mike Dom went to. That's going to be a moneymaker. Because they're going to be overvalued at the beginning of the season, even though they're depleted. It's just the way college basketball works sometimes. So, when we create our future of our wildest dreams, I think your first 3 or 4 weeks of the college basketball season, and I don't mean to disrespect anybody else's edges in anything, but I think that's the best edge that I've seen in all of sports capping right now, is all of your off-season study and then the out-of-conference play in the first 3 or 4 weeks. I mean, I don't see a better edge. We have Drew Martin talking about the reason why he wants to cap college football. I understand it. I mean, I understand that you can have an angle and that you can't. These books can't cover all of these schools, but in basketball, we have 3 times the schools that we have in college football. Simple. And that's what drew me to the sport to focus on in the beginning. I'm like, well, how can they not have some really bad lines on 10 or 12 of these games every day when there's 70 or 80 games? It just doesn't make sense. They'd have to have a lot more manpower, or they just trust their algorithm that much more.
Or the algorithm, or they trust Pinnacle so much more.
Yeah, and that's why I bet with Pinnacle, because when Pinnacle is showing a market edge compared to the rest of the market, I know that all those other books that I have accounts with are going to fall in line with Pinnacle. It's just a matter of time. And what do? I hit those. I get my line move edges. And there's nothing wrong with that, because when you have a book like Pinnacle and they're constantly showing in sport after sport that they're leading the move in markets and they're the sharpest out there, well, why not use your other accounts and take advantage of that?
Yeah, no, it's advantage betting 101, and there's guys down here that I've hung out with that's all they do. They stop capping sports. They just cap the market. Ramon knows more about that than any of us, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's very stressful to make a living off sports betting.
I mean, life's just stressful. If you're able to, if you have $100,000 in your fucking role to gamble on sports, and it's a fucking stress that I desperately want.
I mean, yeah, I enjoy it. Don't get me wrong, but it could be stressful at times.
You know what? When our role is fatter, when our tickets are fatter, I mean, and you've seen me fucking sob on this fucking show.
My $125 bet.
Last year, Jim, I made like about $29,000 in football and just over $30,000 in MMA, right? And we've made 282 units the last 7 months, right? But last year means dick. Like, you got to do it again, and then you got to do it the year after that, and then you got to do it the year after that. That's the stressful part.
Well, the shit I'm doing is child's play, and I understand that we're growing as a group and as a team, and the growth is not really from the capping necessarily, although the three of you all excel in certain areas of capping, but the growth that I've had is not from the capping. The growth that I've had is from the interpersonal relationships and the talk to me, Max. I'm not looking anymore. What's going on?
Cash the over 7.5 on the Oakland-Houston game. We got a 5-3 game.
Yeah, man. What inning is it?
Bottom of the sixth.
It's fucking early too.
Yeah.
But
looks like Ant's gonna be right on point.
So, Jim, did you ever think you'd be in this situation where socially you have been able to reach out to your friends now, but they were strangers, and experience the compassion that maybe you didn't think you would get a chance to experience with people given the course of your single life, if you will?
No, definitely. But definitely. So it's all been very moving. Everything that's happened over the last, but it's about the social emotional responses. It's not about the capping response. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend it's not, because I'm the one who's putting 25% in or out every fucking Friday. So I know what my numbers are, and I know, and Max and I talked about it last year. I remember saying to Max, I was like, let's put like X or question mark with the numbers. But I was like, look, X number, I'm down this year. And people are like, call me out, Bill, you're a bad capper, all this shit. But I'm like, look what's happening here. Do you think that fucking X number is affecting my life negatively? Sure, it's affecting my life negatively. Maybe that's the wrong point.
It's not detrimental to your life.
Yes, to some extent, that's probably the best way to put it. And I want to take everything to the next fucking level from a gambling perspective. But what's happened is that the social emotional responses from what we've been doing in the capping has taken things to our next level, not the next level or nothing like that. But you can't fucking have it all in life. You can't, sometimes you get certain things that bring you joy and bring you happiness, get you excited, whatever. But I'm telling you, 5 years from now, if I'm making $200, $150 bets, then I'm going to be up fucking north in the fucking Yukon, in fucking Nunavut. And I won't need to be doing shows with any of you motherfuckers. I'll just do this shit on my own, smoking blunts on my own, drinking on my own. Because
listen, you don't want to fuck with polar bears. Don't go to Nunavut.
Fucking Churchill, man. It's Churchill, Manitoba, where fucking polar bears are.
Yeah, there's polar bears in Nunavut also. They don't got the fucking infrastructure to protect themselves.
Look, I'm waxing poetic, drunk, stupid nonsense.
Just making sure.
No, I feel you, Mike. But if I don't have $1,000 tickets on my NHL, and I'm not focusing on that, and maybe the Triple Crown races in a couple of years, then I won't be around. Like, I'm not just going to sit here and. I understand that these $100, $125, $200 bets are fucking boring to a huge part of the population, and the reason why it's succeeding is because of social emotional responses to what we're doing as a team and building something as a family. But I'm not going to be sitting here 3 years from now with a $100 WNBA bet and a $150 fucking football. I'm not going to be. I'm not going to waste your time with that bullshit or any of the positive emotional responses that come with just caring about each other. This is all about making money and all about capping. And I'm not. I understand that I'm not succeeding in that right now, and I'm not just going to sit here and fucking lose.
Jimmy, getting attention in this, from what I, maybe I'm getting my feet wet. I've been doing a lot of different media stuff here in my town locally, but getting attention isn't as important as how you get the attention, if that makes any sense.
No,
getting attention is important, but how you get the attention is more important.
No, I feel you, and we're building something that's real. So I don't care that my unit size is. No, I shouldn't say I don't care. We're building something that's real. My unit size has gotten smaller. I know that we're building something that's real, so I'm okay with the unit size dropping. But I'm also not going. The status quo is unacceptable to me from a gambling perspective, not from a building content and followers and like something that's real perspective.
He's not getting any kind of freaking pleasure out of his betting.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
And it's at this point, the unit size and the dollars are dropping, and the losing record on my show is keeping me up at night. And that's keeping me up at night because I know that if my unit size increased, I'd be losing even more. I'm not taking advantage of the angles that I used to take advantage of when I was in Parkdale and I needed it to put money. So the Dolphins, I doubled my bet from $200 to $400 when I saw how bad they were. That makes me want to smash this cup against the fucking wall. That's not taking advantage of the opportunities that we have in front of ourselves.
Yeah, you want to put a J-size bet on it.
That should have been a $200 bet to a $2,000 bet minimum.
Yeah.
But, it is what it is. Rich G says, Jimmy, I think you'd be surprised how much of your audience are casual sports bettors. I'm not betting the mortgage. I can afford to lose what I bet. I bet because I enjoy the cap and the sweat. I hear you, Rich G, and that's what Ramon's talking about. Like, I hear you, but the status quo is just not enough. Like, I'm just gonna.
You could throw $5,000 on Amanda Nunes with me in about 2 months.
What I think, Jay, how you're handling your gambling, that's the edge that I miss, because you're doing the Sports Keg out of your right? Your fucking heart. And then you need to gamble to put food on the fucking table. So then you get Amanda Nunes situations and you take advantage of it. I get Miami Dolphins situations and I move the bet from 200 to 400. This is not going to work long term.
Right. I understand completely what you're saying, bud. I get it completely.
And I had a couple of people tell me that last week when I was on here that I was too drunk, and I kept, putting this Jameson in my face. I had a lot of negative reviews about my show.
I was trying to tell people you only drank like a fucking quarter of the bottle. I was like, how drunk could he be?
I don't know.
Last week.
You got negative reviews about being on here last Wednesday?
I did, yeah. From a few people that I was like a fucking swashbuckling fucking boozer that
Jim? I
would have told you are if you were.
This is your fucking opportunity to let loose, bro.
As long as his bosses aren't watching.
Yeah,
that's what you have to do.
His bosses don't give a fuck about the show.
No, they do. They do care about this show. Actually, they do have their eye on this show, man. They're actually watching right now. That's why I haven't been drinking as heavily as I
no.
That's why I just
Oh, thank God, Max.
Yeah. All right. I always wax poetic like a bitch. Look at Anthony L. God, why is Anthony L under the sheet?
Because you know why? Because I got to put him on like a retainer now. I got to pay him to be on the show.
Oh, I hear that. But don't you have to get paid first to pay?
That's
what I'd like to think so, right? But
look at bet the mortgage on the Dolphins this Sunday.
Boom.
We want to get Ant to come to us from those. He's going to the casino almost every day, across the border in Iowa.
Oh,
I mean,
he's yeah.
Why can't we just set him up there, stick him in a table that he can see all the screens, put the computer in front of him, and he can be his own, Gabe-style show right from this casino out of nowhere, Iowa. With
Anson is glory. Yeah, Anson is glory now. They opened up a sports book like right across the border from Iowa and Nebraska. So he's living there now.
Man, so what's happening to Ant right now? Usually we just hear his voice.
Yeah, you're right, Jim. First he would be on and we'd see him. Then he would be on and we wouldn't see him. Now we just don't see him. now we just don't.
I took offense when we just hear his voice. Man, I took offense.
I did too. You know what? I'm not afraid to say it now because Jimmy said it. I took offense, Ant.
I did.
You're going to be on the show.
Now
show yourself.
He's changed his avatar when he's off screen to naked Megan Rapinoe.
I don't. I'm not going to talk about that.
Plus, he has no face, Jim. Don't forget that.
But even Maxie jumped on with the broken nose, man. I mean,
he did. We got Max. Max looked like he went 10 rounds with Tyson, and we got him to show himself.
Now look at that beautiful fucking beak.
It's not beautiful. They just fixed it. That's all they did. They didn't do anything. They didn't even fix it right.
That nose.
I'm going to look for that Asian surgeon. I'm going to fuck his ass up.
That nose.
It's not even fixed.
Oh, man.
It's not broken. It's not good.
I'm going to have to bounce here in a minute.
All right, brother.
What did you guys think of the Chappelle and Bill Burr specials? Did you guys
I
watch
loved the Chappelle special was so good. I watched it like twice. I haven't seen the Bill Burr special though.
Not yet. They talked about Norm Macdonald from Max and I, we're Canadians. Norm Macdonald's the truth to us. Norm Macdonald put out a big tweet, about Chappelle being the truth and the best. And some people, when we talked about stand-up last time we were on this show, they talked about Chris Rock and whether Chris Rock was up to Chappelle, who's up to Chappelle's level. And Bill Burr, to me, is the only one that's up to Chappelle's level. And that's it.
I agree. I would maybe throw his name escapes me, but the guy that got in trouble. Who's the guy that got in trouble for inappropriate stuff with girls? You know who I'm talking about?
R. Kelly?
R. Kelly.
No.
I can only think of R. Kelly pissing on everybody right now.
Louis C.K. Louis C.K.
Oh, Louis. No, you're right.
I would say those three are the game right now.
Sure. Louis C.K. Is involved in that group, sure.
Yeah.
Or close to that level.
Right.
Let's leave it at that, close to that level. So, interesting story I just heard, and then I'll bounce. I got to fucking bounce. I got to cap and fucking
it's all good, man.
Water and shit.
Do what you got to do.
This was an interesting story I just heard. So they asked Chris Rock, who do you not want to follow? And Chris Rock's like, Chappelle. Man, I don't want to follow Chappelle, man. The fucking months. I don't want to follow Chappelle.
I thought it was interesting, Jim, just the other day. I mean, it actually became kind of a national media topic in the Wall Street Journal, saying that society needs the kind of comedy that Chappelle brings in today's overly PC society, because that's really the look we have to take. We have to open the barriers and be comfortable with bagging on each other's differences to loosen it up a little bit. People are all different. I mean, people are different because of their physical characteristics, and that's what's supposed to make them beautiful. I mean, we can go down that philosophical road if we want, but it's just saying that his type of comedy and people who are complaining about that type of comedy, that's what we have to get away from. We have to almost put comedians, and please comment on this, put comedians on a pedestal and allow for them to breach that creative barrier that needs to be spoken.
I hear what you're saying, and we've just entered this PC world, and everybody's fucking offended and everybody's annoyed. I have trans friends that are like hurt by Chappelle, and they have every right to be. Chappelle has the power, and everyone's listening to him, and they can be hurt if they want to be hurt. That's if that's how they feel, then I respect how they feel. And
Sure.
we have an overly sensitive world right now, but that doesn't mean that our trans friends shouldn't hate themselves after watching Chappelle. So
I agree with that.
now I'm a huge Chappelle fan, but I'm friends with a bunch of trans comics, and they have every right to be upset after what Chappelle said. And we live in this PC world where everybody's complaining about everything all the time. So this is probably a bigger conversation that I'm not about to get in. I guess the story that I was just rolling with, and Ramon, you're right. It's a PC fucking everybody complaining and whining about everything. But if I was trans and Chappelle was my favorite comic and he shat all over me, yeah, I'd be hurt. That's just fucking a natural. That's an honest feeling.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Thank you, Jay. I mean, that's just fucking.
I'd urge everyone to check out that article in the WSJ if they get a chance.
Before you go, the one we were talking about him the last time you were on.
Is this Big Ragu trolling us, or is
Jimmy,
this Big Ragu?
That's the real man giving us the business.
Why? What's he giving us the business about?
Best be careful when he says that kind of shit, bud.
What did he say?
He's just having fun.
I don't see a Big Ragu anywhere.
I don't see him either.
Yeah, you better put jokes behind that, or
No.
Where?
I think it's completely understood.
Oh.
Did somebody?
Ragu said, "Fuck these late night hacks." Yeah. I hope he doesn't mean us.
No. He doesn't mean. He's talking about comedy.
Oh, okay.
So let me go.
But I wanted to say. Oh, go ahead.
Well, let me. So no. You hit first, Jay, and then I'll close up on this comedy.
Yeah, the one person that you and I were talking about a couple weeks ago, who I just don't find funny as a comic. I think everything the man does other than comedy is phenomenal, but his comedy doesn't make me laugh, and that's Joe Rogan. I think he's got the best podcast on the planet. I think he's one of the best color commentators for a sport with the UFC on the planet. I just don't find the man. I find him funny on his podcast, but his stand-up doesn't do it for me.
Oh my God, man! I could tell you Joe Rogan stories. I'll give you one.
Do you find his stand-up really, really good?
Well, no, it's not good, or he'd be doing it all the time. I'll tell you. I'll give you one Joe Rogan story, and then I may forget my point.
Well, why don't you hit that point now?
Well, from the Chappelle Chris Rock thing, when they asked Chris Rock, who would you not want to follow? And he's like, I don't want to follow Chappelle. They asked Chappelle the same question. Who do you not want to follow?
Right.
And Chappelle's like, motherfucking nobody. I mean, I don't know. Evil Knievel? Because Chappelle's the best.
Of course he is.
Chappelle's afraid of fucking nobody.
Of course he is.
To the Joe Rogan spot, I don't know. I'm a failed comedian. Don't get it twisted. I'm not sitting here. Look, if I was a fucking acting comedy star, I'd be doing that right now. I wouldn't be here on the Sports Keg.
Fair enough.
Now, I respect the Sports Keg, but we all know I wouldn't be down here in SBR. I would be shooting movies, getting my dick sucked,
That's all fair. I don't think I could get Chappelle on right now.
I would hook up the girls that would suck your dick, so you call me.
I mean, is that what we really want to talk about right now?
No, that's my fault.
A different stream, guys.
I mean,
that was my fault.
Go ahead.
Big Ragu's on a delay because.
So from
we're already over that.
Okay, from 02 to 06, I was in LA. From 02 to 04 and a half, 05, I did the Comedy Store from Sunday to Thursday. And I wouldn't know when I would go on. The store would start at 7, it would end at 2 a.m. And they were pretty good about it. They didn't leave me hanging. The first time it was a bad time for the Comedy Store. Missy was falling apart. Like, it was a bad time for the Comedy Store. It was the Laugh Factory, Improv were blowing up. The Comedy Store was a shitty place to play. I'm gonna try to speed this up as much as possible. But Joe Rogan was like the only like big famous dude that would come in. So Joe Rogan comes in. And I'm very excited to see him. He goes on stage. Now, this is like a Tuesday night belly room, 25 people, 30 people, no one there, maybe 11 at night. And
Right.
Rogan comes on stage. And I'm really excited, and it doesn't matter what he's acting like with the comics, if he's cocky or whatever. I want to see what he's like, on stage. And so he's on stage and he goes, he's like, I don't know if I should be telling the story probably, but guys. He was like, I was in an F-16 shooting a Fear Factor at the time.
Okay.
So he's like, I was in an F-16 fighter jet, a fucking F-16 fighter jet. And there's like this pause, and he's like, and then some guy is, he's in the, there's a, like he's in the armed forces in the crowd. And there's only 25 people. So this guy in the armed forces goes, and it's one of the most memorable heckles I've ever heard in my life. He goes,
"Oh no, I can't wait to hear this."
It's just one word. He just goes, bull shit.
Did that throw Rogan off his game?
Well, everything just stopped because there's only 25 people in the room. It just stopped. And he goes, Joe goes, what the fuck did you just say to me? Did you say I'm bullshit? Like I'm making up this story? And the guy, like this girl is like tapping him on the shoulder, like, don't say anything, don't say anything. And he said, what, you think I'm just making this shit up on the spot? And then
Right.
It's 25 people in here. And he goes, you right now, you're trying to ruin my night? This is Joe Rogan. You're trying to ruin my night? How about I ruin your night? How about I ruin your night? How about I don't do another joke until you're kicked the fuck out of this room? And no one was saying, there's just nothing. Like just quiet, like a pin drop, nothing.
This is literally the first time you ever saw him live?
This is the first time I saw him live, Comedy Store, 25 people. So there's just nothing. And I'm sitting in the back with the door guys. That's where I hang out. Like that's where I wanted, I'm sitting with the door guys, nothing. There's nothing happening. And the door guys are like, oh, fuck. Come on, don't make me do this. And then Joe goes, I'm not saying another fucking word till you're kicked the fuck out of here.
No way.
You're walked out. And the door guys are like, no, man, I'm not doing anything. 40 seconds, a minute goes by, nothing, not like, and then finally, the guy's like, you got to go and do this. And then after a minute of nothing, and Joe's just sitting there like this, the guy comes up, the door guy comes up and says, okay, you have to leave now. You have to leave. And they pull the guy out with the girl. A minute and a half, 2 minutes go by. Joe's done nothing, said nothing. No one said anything. It's so uncomfortable. They walk the guy out with his girl. And as soon as he's picked up, Joe goes, now how do you fucking feel? You fucking douchebag. How do you fucking feel now? Now are you the funny guy? Now you're the cool guy? And it was like horrible. A horrible, awful.
That's cringeworthy.
Oh, cringe, man. Sorry we're not talking gambling, man. Did we lose viewers?
No, we still have the norm. We still have the norm for a Wednesday.
But I was just shocked by the whole thing. I was like, So the two guys the two pros were Joe Rogan and Bobby Lee. And they were like, I don't know. It was a bad time for comedy. Sorry to put your show into
Did I hear you say on your show that you opened up for Robin Williams?
It's not opened up, man. These comics usually opened up as if you open for somebody, that means that it's you and then Robin Williams.
Oh, so you were on the roster of comics one night when Robin Williams played?
No, 10 nights, 15 nights.
Wow, that's great, man.
That's cool. Yeah. No, I've worked with, but I wasn't like Robin Williams and I didn't play a theater or where I was.
Right.
That's the fraudulence of stand-up comedy. People saying, "Oh, I opened for this guy."
So you've had conversations with Robin Williams?
Oh yeah.
Dude, like,
And I've had my friends.
I could spend an hour listening to that. I could spend an hour listening.
Oh man,
to that.
I've had my friends I've had Robin Williams beside me. My friends trying to be as funny as possible for hours and hours. Like, he's a absolute sweetheart. He never. There was never one time where he didn't give people the time and energy and care, and like he just.
What a legend! What a shame.
On stage is different. Like I'm not gonna, on stage I'm not gonna sit here and blow smoke because.
Nanu.
I didn't love what I saw on stage. I don't want to say anything negative, but from interpersonal relationships,
Right.
Sweetheart, what a kind man.
Wow, that's so cool, man. God, you've led some life, bro, the first 39 years on this planet.
Oh man, I'm about to turn 40 in like less than a month, man.
I'm gonna be 39 in October.
I'm turning 33 on Tuesday, motherfucker. So I better
shut up, Mac.
Tuesday.
Nobody cares about how young you are.
And I'm playing a softball game at 8:00.
Of course
I gotta
you
write
are.
that note right now. Max's birthday's on Tuesday. What about you, Ramon? How old are you?
I'm 50.
You're 50. You're looking good, man.
Oh, Max, we got to have a chicken tenders and organic honey birthday extravaganza on Tuesday, bro.
I'm doing a freaking Maximum College Hoop show with Ramon.
On your birthday? That's going to be fantastic.
Yeah. And I got some special teams lined up for it.
Wow.
If you watched me last year, you'll probably recognize that I have a little bit of good feelings towards these teams. But this year, similar rosters, a couple new additions, and I think it's going to be the same result. Non-conference ATS wins and money in our pockets, hopefully going to our local favorite adult.
I can't wait. I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it. 33, huh? I'm so old. Jesus.
Oh, we're all going to get there one day, So
hopefully.
All right, you guys, I'm going to fuck off, man. Much love to you guys. How we looking? Let's go one last look over the games.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to lose the over Atlanta, Philly. I'm already cashing the Washington first 5, so the banker. I got the Indians -1. We'll see. Still vulnerable, but I like the Cleveland bullpen. I should have taken the over in the Royals White Sox. I did not trust Lopez after that fucking complete game, one hitter. So stupid to me. That's the dumbest thing I did all day was not take the over. I knew Sparkman was going to get touched, and I was like, look, Lopez just threw a fucking one hitter. These guys never these average or above average pitchers don't do that twice in one. That's a fucking mistake. I'm on the over in Oakland, Houston. I don't know if I'll get there. Hopefully. Seth Brown just hit a double to deep center, hopefully.
Just the fact that you're live after the first 3 innings of that game is good,
Yeah, definitely. The Giants -1 mistake going against the Taint looks like, but who knows? Lots of game left. And then I'm on the God. You know what I should have done was taking the Mariners first 5 under. Although I can't bet that at Bet365 or with my local. I should have just trusted Sonny Gray. I hope Gonzalez gets touched. So I guess it's not going to be as good of a day as I thought.
But you got the Baltimore first 5, right?
I hit Baltimore first 5. I lost Boston, Toronto over, and I hit Milwaukee -1. So I'm in good shape. I'm definitely plus units going into this late night action.
Before you go, are you on anything right now? Do you have any play in the San Diego Cubs game, top of the second, no score?
To me, this game's the Padres have a fucking amateur lineup. So if you're making a live bet, which I can't do with my local, because he's been scammed with live bets.
Right.
Obviously, I go over and do something with it. So I'm, but if you see Hamill throwing well, then I would take the Cubs right now immediately.
Okay, Cincinnati and Seattle, top of the third, no score. Did you have a play in that game?
I'm on the Reds, but I'd be very uncomfortable with the Reds offense. They've shown nothing. And not that the Mariners offense is good, but I'd be very uncomfortable. The only play here is you see Hamels. No, the only live play here is you see Hamels throwing well. Hamels, I didn't see the first inning, so you'd have to have looked at the first inning and see what he did. But if Hamels is able to get through this fucking AAA offense with Machado in it, who's been playing terribly, then I would hammer the Cubs live right now.
Already?
All right, I know you're on the Giants -1. They're currently down 3-0 middle of the fourth. What about taking the Giants plus 2.5 runs at even money?
I would not do that.
No, you don't like that?
No, I mean, I like the Giants to begin with. But I'm telling you, if Hamels is throwing well, this Cubs lineup is so much better than the Padres lineup.
Okay.
So much better.
What
There's
can you
only
get the
one
Cubs
move
at
to make
right now
betting
live,
against the Cubs.
Ramon?
Even money.
All right, so I'm going to take a half-unit shot on the Cubs right now.
If Hamels looks like he can throw, then bet on the Cubs.
Oh, I can get him at plus 120.
Are you serious?
Yeah, plus 120 right now, FanDuel.
Just because the Cubs are out and now it's the start of because it's the bottom of the second.
Right.
Up to that. You know what I would watch? You know what I wouldn't take that yet. I would watch Hamels. Hamels has an 8.53 ERA over his last 6 starts. If Hamels gets through this line, you know what? Maybe you should. But take a look at what he did in the first inning. If Hamels is good, the Cubs are going to win easily.
Well, he threw 24 pitches in the first inning.
I would wait.
All right.
I would wait.
I think he just gave up a hit also.
Then I would wait.
No, never mind.
Well, he threw so many pitches because I think he had some strikeouts in there too, though.
Still, Fatfish said took the Cubs an hour ago. I would. It's Hamels if Hamels is good to go, then the Cubs are going to win this game easily. Their lineup is so much better than this Padres lineup that they put out.
Bet365 is being a bunch of pussies.
No, I wouldn't.
Everything's suspended right now.
All right, I gotta fuck off, man. Look at Big Ragooses. I seen Dice before. He had a big 40 people in Orlando. Crowd pissed my many moons ago, 2 months ago after that HBO special. Look, I've never opened for Dice, but I did hang out with Dice, and I mean 3 or 4 times, not like a.
The first concert my father ever took me to was Dice at Madison Square Garden in the 80s.
Wow.
Yeah. My dad was cool like that.
Did Dice fill up Madison Square Garden?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
As a matter of fact, I think he did it multiple nights.
I think that's part on his calling card, actually.
You know, Rogan is playing Madison Square Garden in about 6 months by himself, and one person opening up for him, but he's going to fill the Garden, he said.
All right, I'm going to have to put a fucking ending to this. Jim has to go, and he has been trying to go for a while.
Go ahead, brother.
Russell Peters, my boy, man, he could fill up the Garden, 10 times in a row. So, but Joe Rogan, there's nobody more listened to on earth than Joe Rogan.
I listen to him every day, bro. But
nobody's been he's more listened to than anybody in the history of the world.
Yeah. I love it.
The real numbers. No one's listened to anybody as much as Joe Rogan's been listened to in the history of the universe.
I'm a big Joe Rogan guy. Just don't like his stand-up.
Yeah, his stand-up is pretty soft.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Make money where you can, man.
All right, bro, go so you wake up in time to cap and do the show.
Oh, I gotta do some late night prep too, man.
All right, well, we love you, man. I appreciate you taking the time out.
Later,
are you guys live, Jay? Or is any announcement about the Monday nighter that you guys are on?
Yeah, next Monday night, we're gonna bring that Monday night kegger that we got going on over to SBR.
So it's not this Monday; it's a week Monday.
Right, not this Monday. A week from this coming Monday, and hopefully we'll probably do a few of them, and then whatever you and Nat can get done. Hopefully we get a sponsor. And then we become the live show there every day. That's the plan as far as Nat.
Can I be on the that Monday nighter? Can you put me?
Can you?
Yeah,
I won't accept no for an answer. What do you mean?
All right. Well, we'll start promoting it. So it's not this Monday. So what's it? Bears Redskins?
Not this coming Monday. You know, Jim, I don't even know what the game is, to be honest with you. I don't even know. That sucks that'll be the first one.
Who cares?
Yeah, who cares? Whatever it is, it is.
Who cares?
Yeah.
All you guys in the chat, man, thank you guys. We have nothing. There's nothing happening without you guys caring about it. So thank you so much, man. I'll be up bright and early on Thursday. Ramon, Max, Jay, love you guys, man.
Love you, bro.
Later, Jim.
There he is, the one and only Jimmy the Bag. I'll be right back. I gotta run to the bathroom.
I'm wearing a catheter.
I'm literally being a very good patient marijuana enthusiast because as soon as that motherfucker comes back, I'm going to have a little fucking smoke break.
You can shut off the screen. I'll just sit here and talk to everybody, Max.
All right, well, it's not like I haven't been on here for 2.5 hours, so it's like...
I could talk to the chat.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, I'm going to take advantage of that, Ramon, so thank you for being such a...
Okay, there he goes. It's you and me, chat. Let's talk about it. Minnesota Lynx just gone into the tank in that WNBA game. Seattle started to pull away 45-34. Chat, you're going to have to hit me up. Bring me those questions. Bring me those comments. What did you think about Jimmy coming in once again? It doesn't matter that we don't talk about capping. We talk about capping with Jimmy on his show. We want to have Jimmy in here and know more about him, more about, I mean, like we were talking about with him, an interaction that he's gotten with all those people, meeting people through his show, and the compassion that he's shown to all of his viewers, those have taken ill or had things go wrong in their lives. And I think we see that. I think that's what we appreciate that. And I don't think we worry too much about sometimes the size of his bets or the plays that he makes. I mean, it's all about that community. So that's awesome. And I love seeing your comments on right now talking about those. Yeah, Jimmy reads the chat live. Deer Slayer, you know that. That's what makes it special, too. And that's what makes it, popular when he's able to read off all those comments and everything. So, hey, how about these scores? Tampa Bay 8-7 on top of Texas. Cincinnati's got a run in against Seattle. Runners at second and third and 2 outs. And the Reds lead with Sonny Gray 1-0. Joel in Alaska, the show can't be all about sports betting. There has to be some levity. And I think that's what people are trying to do. Trey Turner hit a home run. It's 6-2 Nationals now in the top of the 9th inning. Yeah, so what we're trying to do is bring a product, right? So a level of entertainment, yet you want to have the capping information. That's the fine line, and that's why Jimmy's show has worked so well. No doubt about it. All right, coming down to the end of some games too. Kansas City on top of the White Sox 6-4. Oakland continues to lead Houston 5-3. They're in the bottom of the 8th there. Max got that one to go over. How about that Cleveland game 4-2 on top of the Angels? And that was kind of a big play for the boys on the between the seam show. If I'm not mistaken, I think we were on Kansas City in that one. So try to bring home the winner there. They're at the top of the 8th inning with 2 outs. Ragu, thank you so much for visiting us in the chat. Been watching all the Boss and the Sauce shows, no doubt about it. I've been watching it anyway and hope you guys have too. It's weird how all of these shows, you want to just kind of bring them all together and kind of lump them all together. This whole thing started organically back with those SBR shows. And Jimmy, boy, we can't afford to lose Jimmy to anything right now, can we? I mean, it feels like he's the guy that kind of holds the glue all together. I just wish he would have told us more about the SBR gossip and what happens in those rooms and who makes the call, who's getting mad at who, and why is that happening with a thing that should be, I don't know, so good over there at SBR. And it is. And Jimmy had a busy day today. We saw him on his show, and then right after that, the Pick Six show. So if you guys could help me out on the Pick Six show, I mean, where do I go? Can I get a contest on SBR Sports Picks for a Pick Six or something? I mean, I can't believe I'm so out of touch. Let me go to my contest page. Go to the contest page over there on SBR and see what I'm missing out on. I can't believe I'm missing this. Bob says wants to know what's on my college football card. Just about everything, Bob. I just thought we'd kind of cover it in the next couple of days as we go along. I mean, I could just start rattling off plays if you want. I mean, I have my college notes here, and we can look at the moves. I mean, I'm ready to go. College ball. College ball. Yeah, no doubt. Deer Slayer trying to get some people to to join me on my stream, but I'm never going to go on opposite these guys. I can get in the Pick Six contest up until week 3. Thanks, Rich. I will do that right away.
All right.
Deer Slayer, I wasn't getting the guest, so I'm just happy I found a home here with these guys. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate this man right here.
I love you, buddy.
This show is important to me socially just because of the turn my life took, kind of, Jay, and that's why it's evolved. That's why I was in the chat so many nights lamenting my own personal failures in my job and losing my job.
One of the best compliments anybody has ever given me was when you said, this show helped you get through a lot of personal shit that you were going through.
I'm still going through it.
Hey, man, we all are. Believe me, I hear you, brother. Yeah, Jimmy is, Pete's a legend, and the chemistry that Pete and Jimmy had, I think, was magic. But, unfortunately, since Pete hasn't been around, Jimmy really is the flagship over at SBR, man, and he does a great job. I love the kid dearly. So, I love all you guys in the chat. So let's make some money because that's what we do this show for. I got to pay my rent.
Well, there's a story to it, and I don't think, Jimmy's never going to share it. I don't think, I don't know. It sounds like a making of a book. Almost.
Yeah, I would never expect them to anyway. Some things are just between certain people. But since he mentioned it, yeah, we are going to do Monday Night Football shows over there, and hopefully that will turn into a daily live show at SBR. I love Jimmy. I love Natalie. I love that she's my boss. I enjoy working for her. And that's it, man. I don't know how many people we're going to have on the show. I think it's probably only going to be 4. I have to talk to Natalie and get the like the do's and the don'ts and what she wants and what she doesn't want. But Joel says, I love this show. Feel like I'm a part of a community when I watch you guys. Joel, we love you, man. Thank you for taking time out of your day. That's another thing about this show. Yeah, we only have 120 people watched at the most ever, and we average around 50 or 60 people. But it's 60 people that take time out of their day with all the shit that goes on in somebody's life and everything that I know I deal with on a daily basis. So I'm sure you guys deal with the same. It means a lot to me over the last 7 months that you guys take time out of your day to watch this show. It really does.
I want you to reconsider also, Jay, when we say 60, I mean, we're not talking, we're talking about a consistent 60 live, but you see the names. There are more than 60 people coming in every night, people you recognize. And the fact that you recognize right away when you see a name that you have not seen before and acknowledge them, that's very important, makes them feel special and makes them maybe consider coming back, checking it out, getting their shout out and all that. But just remember, look at the total views, even people who are going back and watching it, maybe fast forwarding through it, the total views on the YouTube a day or two later, you can see how many it is. and it's not just 60 people. It's more than that. It's just 60 people at one time. I mean,
right, yeah,
rotating number. So
yeah,
really
you're right.
talking about, the final number, yes, people are coming in and out maybe, so you can divide that number a little bit, but we're definitely looking at a couple of hundred viewers a night for sure.
Yeah, I mean the last two fight casts, 2,500 people each show have watched that show, and we have somewhere between like 600 and 800 people watching normal night. So that's awesome, and we're growing and it's building, and who knows what it'll be a year from now. So let's make some money, because that's why we're here. You see any live spots that you like?
It would help. The only game I didn't play, other than getting on that one that Jimmy turned me on to, was Cincinnati-Seattle on the total. I didn't get involved with that. See, it's 1-0 right now, the bottom of the third.
Everybody mark this day down in your calendar, September 11th, 2019. I won a baseball bet that I tailed Anthony on.
And it was, I think, the special thing about this is not only did you win a bet that you tailed him on, but it was actually with the pitcher that he hates the most.
How fitting is that? That it was Zach Davies, the pitcher that Anthony can't stand, got me a winner when tailing him. So Zach Davies has a special place in my heart now.
There's a spot for every bet. There's a spot for every fade. There's a spot for every play.
Amen.
I like half the teams half the time, and everyone should actually.
Did you come down on a side in the WNBA game?
I did. I eventually Seattle and over.
Ramon, I think you're dead on. I like Seattle. What line did you get it at? What was the close?
2.
Oh, I don't want to take 5. Hopefully Minnesota can close this gap, and I am going to hop on Seattle with you. I think that's the right side. Big Ragu, what's up, buddy? Maxwell Smart.
Jason?
How we doing?
I'm trying to fucking breathe right now.
All right, well, breathing is good.
Yeah. I hit a...
Don't die.
I hit a big bull, so... trying to keep it going.
He was worried that you hadn't come back. And I was sitting there talking to myself.
Well, I do sometimes get distracted by other activities that I get up to, so I can't blame him for having that feeling.
Ragu, I did not get on the Cubs at all. Should we? I can get even money right now on the Cubs. Are we getting on the Cubs here?
I'm taking my $38 of profit and betting it.
How dare you?
I'm on the Cubs.
Are you taking the Cubs, Max?
Yeah, I am. I'm literally $38 to win $77.90.
I'm not going to be the only guy left out in the rain. I'm taking the Cubs. Boom. Put it on the board. Cubs, even money. Let's get that going.
When I hear Big Ragu put out free winners.
Did Ragu's on the Cubs too?
Well, if he's on the Cubs, that's why I got on it.
Oh, yeah? What about my opinions? They don't matter to you?
Well, when it comes to baseball, no.
How dare you? I'll have you know.
I know, live betting, you can bet baseball and win. I've seen you do it. I've been on the show enough to see that.
I'm joking, bro. I'm the worst baseball handicapper in the world.
I'm just saying, when the Big Ragu steps up into the chat and I see that he's put shit out, well, I listen.
All right, Ragu. I'm tailing you, bro. Don't let me down. Boom, Cubs. It's
go,
on.
Cubs, go. Go, Cubs, go. This is for Ant. Hey, Chicago, what do you say? Cubs gonna win today.
Look at that. Where are you going to get that? Where are you going to get singing like that?
And they just flipped to minus 105 on my book from fucking plus 100. So
Is Chef Mike screwing me right now? Mike, how are we looking in that LA Galaxy game?
Throwing the ball away.
Are we not looking good?
No, we have an update on that.
Colorado up 2-1 in the 92nd minute. Well, that doesn't look good. How many minutes do they play?
They're going to play 4 minutes of added time.
So there are literally 2 minutes for me to not lose that bet, you're saying?
4 minutes of added time,
but they're in the 92nd minute.
Yeah, then yeah.
Well, I don't like it. Is anybody
we had someone in the chat, man, I feel bad I didn't remember who it was. One of our soccer friends was talking about Real Salt Lake, and that one's scoreless with about 25 minutes left.
Oh, the Cubs game's on ESPN for anybody that cares.
Well, Jimmy was awesome, man. Really tick him off. I guess I shouldn't think, I don't know what happened.
Padres have a runner on and nobody out. Twatty's just been MIA, man, from this show. When's the last time Twatty was on a KegCast?
Oh, no, it's just the other night.
Was he?
Wasn't? Oh, maybe I'm thinking of the baseball show. He's doing his show, though. I mean, that's great. I mean, that's just as, that's great. Him and Ant went about 45 minutes today. Here's a home run by the eighth. Is that Cole Calhoun home run? This is a 4-3 ball game here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
I haven't even seen Twatty in the chat.
Kansas City 8-4. That was a game that they had on the baseball show. They liked Kansas City tonight. Colorado's got something brewing, 2 on and 1 out, bottom of the 7th. They are up 2-1 right now.
let's go, Cole. Get this motherfucker. You got 2 outs. Don't be a cuck. Don't make me start calling you a cuck. Because there is an opening for the Cuck Association president of the city of Chicago.
Seattle is up by 6 at the half, not down by 6.
Cincinnati's up.
Let's take a look at that line. Let's get that line going.
Yeah, right now they are -5 for the game. Second half spread.
Cincinnati is up 1-0. What's
the Storm are +1 second half.
God damn it. This weed has busted me up.
Atlanta's going to close out Philly here, it looks like. Or they did okay. It's the final. Yeah, that didn't go too well. And Washington, they're starting to solidify that wild card spot. They got it done 6-2 over the Twins. Pretty good job by Washington this season. After
Get this.
who left town.
Let's go, Cole. Put some fucking heat on this shit and let's do this. You old bastard. Even though he's probably not that much older than me.
Astros batting bottom of the ninth, 5-3.
What's the play?
There we go. Out of the inning, boys.
Bob asks, what's the play on the WNBA? I mean, I don't know. Maybe Seattle +1. The only thing that bothers me is that they were a -2 favorite, and they basically have to win the game by 6 for you to hit that second half. Melvin says, take the +5, Storm win, but they don't cover. So he thinks it'll be a close second half.
What is about Minnesota 1.5, 76 or 76?
76, huh? Kind of like what do you think about the over in the second half?
I'm already on the over 150. That's 164. I mean, that's a pretty nice little window right there. I'm probably just going to stick with this situation. I don't think I'm going to.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
Was that message in our private chat, Ramon, to me or to make us aware of that?
Yeah, I think just to make you aware, because maybe you had seen something that it didn't fit contextually in what you were thinking.
Multiple times.
Yeah, and it seems like sometimes it's right on and then sometimes it slows down. I don't know if that's a thing with StreamMate. It's a new feature that just came out, I think, in the last 7 to 10 days, so maybe it's not perfect, but I think it's good to have on the screen, on the StreamYard screen. Did I say StreamYard, right? I didn't say that other streaming site that has women.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't say the wrong one. Did I say the wrong one?
No, the DGen did not come out of you that time. You're all good.
That my virtual dating site? No, what?
John, it might be a penalty, John, for who? You mean the Galaxy might get a penalty shot?
I guess I can turn that one on. Not like I have a ton of games going on here. Let me set up my. My bad.
My initial thought was that it was too many points for Washington State to lay at them, but I have to spend tonight digging into the rest of this card.
Looks like Ramon is going to cash his under 11 in the Houston game.
Nice. Everybody was on the over in that game. That was a good call by him.
I was on the live over 7.5. And it cashed. And that was based on the advice of Ramon, saying that it was the perfect number now to get on the over, which I did. So thank you, Ramon.
Angels are down a run, have a man on first and 2 outs.
Yeah, and the White Sox have 2 runners on with 2 outs after they've already scored 2 in the inning.
You can get the Angels right now at plus 430,
Or
down
you can get
1
the
run.
White Sox plus 500, down 2.
Do they have anybody on base?
Yeah, they have a runner first and second. I just said that.
Oh, and 2 outs. Okay, I got you.
See, I waited till you were finished talking about one game, and then I immediately spoke about another game. Because I don't really want to. Actually, I'd be more interested in betting the Giants right now. It looks like they got 2 runners on, bottom of the 5th, nobody out, and they've already scored 2. Plus 145. That's what I'm saying live right now. That's the spot.
I like it, Max. I'm already on the Giants and the over, so I just want to keep this rally going.
Yeah, I think you're going to. Jay, are you looking at it?
I am. I'm looking at it right now. Well, what I see on my MLB game day is 4-1 runners at the corners.
They have another run in now.
Yeah,
so 4-2, and who's on base? Where?
Runners at first and second right now with nobody out.
Yeah, I think that's worth the play.
Are you betting it?
Yeah, I'm going to bet it right now, plus 120.
I got plus 140.
Well,
I'm just saying it to let you know what I have on my book.
Shut your mouth, lately, like, you don't mean to come off that way, but you seem like you have a little permanent attitude problem lately.
I think it's just the tone of my voice, and I think you just need to get over that.
Oh, okay.
Oh, shit.
Personality.
Oh, I just went to 120. Okay.
Oh, good. Because it just went to 125 for me. So I got the better number, bitch. How you like me now? How about that?
If you want to enter this competition, I'll open my Pinnacle live book and we'll see who gets the better number. Because I know Pinnacle will give me better numbers every time.
So what's the win tomorrow?
The Giants actually winning now instead of who got better odds.
John wants to know what the lean tomorrow is. I don't know, John. Initially under, but it moved a point. I can't lay 7 points with the Panthers at home, even though historically the spot says it's warranted with how bad road teams are on Thursday nights. I just can't do it, though. What do you guys think about this game tomorrow?
Which game?
Thursday night football, Tampa Bay at Carolina.
Fuck. 2 quarterbacks I can't trust.
The line is 7. Panthers -7, and I think 49.5.
Yeah. I got no thoughts on that game at this point.
Well, here's the thing. Yes, the Thursday night trend is obviously in effect here, but I think you're paying a penalty. I mean, Pinnacle opened the game 6.5, and it's really hasn't moved too much if it's up to 7. But there were some openers as low as 5. But again, I think a more determining stat going into trend land is division dogs, especially early in the season. So yeah, I mean, can Carolina get a blowout win? I think it's less likely that they get a blowout win. I still want to kind of trust Arians a little bit to start to fix things somehow, some way in Tampa, even with Winston. Maybe not fix Winston, but just, try to work that defense into how he builds a defense and try to build his program that way a little bit. Maybe try to keep the game under control a little more. I mean, not seeing these teams trade points, are you?
Well, I think you have a point with maybe Arians rights the ship, even though I don't have much faith in Winston at all. I think Viper probably approaches the game best, try to take the Panthers live. If Tampa Bay could get on the board first, and you can get a cheap number. What you and I were talking about earlier, those division road dogs early in the year in weeks 1 and 2. Going into last week, we're 17-4-1 the last 5 years, I want to say. But I don't know what it is now after last week. You know, this has, from a public perspective, this has the whole world teasing the Panthers down to -1 and the 49.5 up to 56.5 and betting the under. I just can't tease totals in the NFL unless they're really low, like 38.
I would have a problem with that teaser.
You're saying you would not have a problem?
No, especially because it involves the under. And
Yeah, I agree. I mean, gun to my head, does that teaser probably cash? Yeah. I have a problem betting high total teasers.
And I love that. I certainly love that stat about the division dogs. I mean, it's kind of what I'm preaching in this game. The one team that does not fare well in this role is the Tampa Bay Bucks. Get this. They're on Thursday nights. Tampa Bay's 1-8 in their last 9 Thursday night games.
So you're saying you wouldn't have a problem just taking the touchdown straight? Take the 7 with the Bucks.
No, well, I was going to recite to you something that's it's the one reason why I can't get on yet, and maybe I'm just going to have to fight through it and trust power ratings. This is a trend-based thing, but Tampa Bay on Thursday nights 1-8 ATS in their last 9 Thursday night appearances, and 0-4 against division teams in those Thursday night games. And Carolina is dynamite in this series. They've covered. I don't have it right now. Carolina has been the dominant team spread-wise in this series. Long term, I think short term, it's been relatively even. I'm going to call that up. Last 10 games, Carolina 7-3, 6-4 ATS, 3-7 to the under. Last year, the meeting here was 42-28 in November.
Going into week 1, I'll have my power ratings out tomorrow morning. But going into week 1, I had the Panthers a half point worse than an average team on a neutral field. And I had Tampa Bay 3 points worse than a neutral team. So that's 2.5 point difference right there. Add in the 3 points. I would have had this line going into week 1 if they played week 1 at 5.5 in Carolina. I have to redo them. I'll redo them tonight. But I mean, if it's anywhere near to that 5.5, that's like 1.5 of difference between my line and the 7 currently, which would say take the touchdown. Wow, where do you have them? Where do you have the Panthers and Tampa Bay in your power ratings right now?
Well, I graded this team out at 5 points.
At 5?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had it at 5.5 if it would have been a week 1 game. So I'll have to I'll see. I might end up right on your number.
Yeah, well, I might be just swayed by those division dogs. I'm just put off by the lack of success for Tampa Bay in the role. I mean, that's why it might come down to, trusting the grading of the game rather than some of these trends that I like. I understand people, what trends they might follow or don't follow any trends at all, but consistent trends, these type of trends, measuring up multiple groups of teams as division dogs, things like that, I think are more indicative than maybe trusting teams using a long-term sample when you're dealing with a lot of turnover in personnel that may not be as pertinent.
John, any thoughts on Saturday? Any thoughts on Saturday UFC Cowboy as an underdog? I wrote my main event breakdown for Odds Market. It's on the Sports Keg Twitter page. So just go to the Keg Twitter page and scroll down, and you'll see the article from Odds Market.
Okay, Jay, we got to run. We got to walk. Bases loaded, 1 out. Brandon Belt's up now for San Francisco. Let's go, Belt. Come on. This guy isn't throwing strikes, then let him not. If he throws strikes, hit the fucking ball. I'd love to see a grand slam right now.
I don't know, Jay. Is the public willing to get involved with their guy? I want to say that Cowboy is their guy, but as a big dog, I mean, I'm showing the tickets kind of running against him right now. Like, public's not going to buy into it.
Cowboy is definitely the public favorite, like in terms of popularity. Yeah.
Yeah, he's taken 30 cents off of it, despite the fact that tickets necessarily aren't running in his favor. But again, you're looking at what, a $2 favor, about $1.70 underdog for Cowboy.
Yeah, Cowboy was like, when I wrote the article, he was like plus 156 at FanDuel.
Okay.
I forgot to put the San Francisco play in. Now, let me put that at the bottom. But yeah, I don't want to tell people what I'm on because I hope that they go and read the article.
Understood.
Tomorrow I have to write a Glover Teixeira, Nikita Krylov co-main event breakdown. I'm dreading it.
Well, that's got to be it's a toss-up right now, right? I mean, it's nearly a pickup.
Yeah. I mean, if it was Glover 5 years ago, it would be a no-brainer. But now it really is a coin flip. Yeah.
The number's 7.5 in the Lynx and Storm game right now. It's a 12-point game for the Storm.
Wow, they came out and they're up 12, huh? Shit.
There's still 4 minutes left in the third quarter.
I was hoping it would go the other way and then the Lynx would close it up a little bit so I can hop on them. Seattle.
It's 10 now. 6.5 live.
I would even take 3, a point off the close, but nothing more than that.
True.
Padres got the bases loaded, 2 outs.
Oh, Belt struck out. What a cock. Oh, come on, man. Now it's at the fucking void.
Pitcher's up, though, for the Padres.
Are you guys on that game?
We're on the Cubs.
Oh, yeah, fuck. Damn it. So now we're on the Giants and we're on the fucking Cubs. Damn it. This is not looking good now. Obviously, it's better than fucking 4-0. But we need to at least tie this fucking game in this inning. What the hell is Cole Hamels doing, that fucking cuck?
Yeah, Cole Hamels is from San Diego, went to Rancho Bernardo High School. He's always pitched pretty well when coming back into San Diego.
Do you cover other sports in San Diego other than football?
Well, with the football, I work at the TV station 20 hours, so that's a little bit more time consuming. But after football season, I focus mostly on basketball and then baseball, the major sports. And then I just try to throw in some of the other minor sports to, when somebody does something special, especially the girls' sports. I try to do more. Girls' basketball I cover pretty heavily.
I like college female volleyball.
We know you do, Max.
I like my women's volleyball.
UCLA. Stanford, Washington.
Yeah, just like I like my UCLA softball team.
I am a big fan.
Aceveda. Oh, you sexy.
I am a big fan of watching that female volleyball with those shorts.
Yeah. The leaping is very good. It's very well coordinated. Yeah, I'm a fan. Paddock strikes out. Sit him down.
We always go out and do like some interviews with the girls volleyball, with a community college volleyball team, a little bit older, and they're real tall, man. I'm always looking up to those.
I never have a
Pretty
problem.
awesome. Pretty awesome.
It's like I'll climb you like a ladder.
What the hell?
Oh, we know you will.
Yeah, no problem.
Ramon, did you bet the Indiana-Ohio State game?
Yeah, I'm on the Bucks.
What number did you get him at?
14.5. I also have the over in that game. Damn it, Max. You got out of it.
All right, game's not over. There's still lots of baseball left to play.
That Colorado is already up to 4.5, huh?
Yeah.
I'll be honest, that makes me feel, well, I don't know if that makes me feel better. If the public is on that number and it's going up, but the Sharps are on Air Force, that actually makes me feel worse about that Colorado game. Are the Sharps on Air Force?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
That's
Not heavy, just not very, but the only moves really that we've seen have come in on Air Force for the most part.
Yet that line's gone up 1.5 points.
Yeah. I think that's interesting.
I think that's interesting too. That might be enough to keep me off Colorado.
Fuck you, Jay. I want you to take in solidarity.
My heart says you're on the right side, Max. My head is like,
I think that the number is right. I think 4.5 may be too much, but I didn't get 4.5.
so you don't think that they should be more than a field goal favorite? Then you're saying?
I think this is a fucking ass clencher to the fucking last fucking second in the game, but I do have faith in fucking in SM to fucking take care of business, because Montez, he's shown the growth, he's shown the maturity.
I like him. I agree.
The coaching staff is making the right calls at the right time. Like, you know what? Utilize fucking sideline to sideline, and that's what the Buffs are doing on offense. If you can spread guys out and then you can freaking bring it in, the variety of different freaking looks you can give that defense will keep them off balance. Colorado's capable of doing that right now.
Alabama is a 15.5 point favorite on the road. I think that number is short.
Yeah, chances are they play really hard in the first half and then take it easy in the second half.
I think if they're not up 17 points at the half, something has gone wrong.
If they're not up 17 points after the first quarter, something's wrong, Jay. First off, they should force 2 to 3 punts in the first quarter, and directly after forcing those punts, march down the field in under 3 minutes and score a touchdown. With this receiving core, there's no reason why we need to fucking just like play fucking like boring and slow. Throw the fucking ball down the field and let's see Tua and fucking Judy connect on some fucking 60, 70-yard passes. I want that. All right?
Yeah. Wow. DraftKings doesn't have first half lines. What a shit show.
How about these little numbers, Max? Oh, shit.
Yeah. What numbers?
Wait, hold on.
Okay.
Are those high school students?
College.
Oh, okay.
Hold on, go back. Do it again.
The Alabama team total in the first half is 24. What?
Yeah, I would give them all my money in exchange for, yeah.
What do you think about the 2 Friday night games? 3 Friday night games.
Yeah, neat. One of them starts at 6 your time, so I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, we got North Carolina and Wake. North Carolina currently +3. Total is 66. We got Boston College and Kansas. Boston College, wow, hanging 3 touchdowns at home.
Interesting.
Seems a little much.
It does.
School?
Say it again, Max.
Is Anthony Brown still in school?
I think our Anthony is on North Carolina +3. And then Washington State, 9-point favorite on. Oh, wait, are these first half line? No, okay.
No, they're up to 9. Yeah,
9, yeah. 9-point favorite, and the total a whopping 74.
Yeah, Sharps have taken that number down considerably. I mean, it seems like to me both teams should score in the 40s. I like Houston and I like the over. The Sharps are all over the under, man. It seems overwhelming that the Sharps are coming in and taking that big number under. They're usually gonna, but take a look. 75% of the tickets and 2/3 of the money on the over, and we've seen this one dip now to even as low as 73.5. So call me square, but I've got the over in that one.
Jay,
Houston getting those points at home.
Jay, I may be a little high.
Yeah.
But I asked a goddamn question, and I asked, is Anthony Brown still at Boston College?
I'm still researching.
If the dual threat quarterback is still there, then I can believe that they can cover 21 points at home and not throw the game and fucking make money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, let me check, Max. I don't know that off the top of my head, buddy.
Well, I would think that you do, because it's like Boston and you're in Jersey and it's the East Coast, and yeah.
Well, I don't, so eat a dick. How about that?
I don't do that kind of thing.
A pretty nice
I'm
game.
not saying there's anything wrong with it. It's just not for me.
He threw for 3 touchdowns in the first half in the win over Richmond.
All right, so yeah, he's there, Max.
Oh, he's a very dynamic player.
We're on the chat's on opposite sides. Muhammad Joma on North Carolina money line, but Big Ragu is on Wake first half -1.5, full game -3.
Huh. Well, I saw it at 2.5. So.
Oh, did you? My book has it at 3 right now.
Yeah, mine has it. Pinnacle has it 2.5. Yeah, seriously, I like Oklahoma. So does Jay, but Jay doesn't like the number. I think Oklahoma still wins by 30.
I think I like these teams in the first half. I think that's what I'm going to be. I think Alabama at -15.5 and a team total of only 24 is a joke against South Carolina after what I've seen from them the first 2 weeks.
What about the 17.5 at +125?
I don't like that. I mean, if you were going to take an alternative line, I wouldn't go higher than 16.5, just in case they're up 17 at the break.
Okay.
Muhammad Joma liking Boston College, and I graded the game out at 18.5. So not sure what I'm going to do there.
Anybody betting FIBA basketball tomorrow or in the morning?
No, but I watched that disgrace of a game today.
Oh, I was loving it. I was on France +7.5.
What do you have, Max? You have anything you like? I'll bet it now.
Well, I think that Poland, although they played in an easier group than the Czech Republic, I think that Poland can come out and win this game because they shoot free throws better. They percentage-wise, they still score a lot of points. I mean, they do good. They do good fundamental scoring, fundamental offense, but the Czechs, like, I don't know, maybe they're a little down because they've already played the U.S. They played some tough teams already, and like they got smacked around. And now they're playing in this fucking consolation game. I don't know if it means that much to them, but I don't know. I need a couple more minutes just to check around. So I don't have anything yet.
I'm afraid I'm almost out of time, guys. Got some programming scheduled at 9 o'clock locally.
Yeah, I'm going to call it a night anyway, buddy. I just wanted to come on for a couple hours because we didn't do a show yesterday, and I knew Jimmy was probably going to pop on.
Okay,
But-
hold on.
Go ahead, Matt.
Now I found what I wanted.
Okay.
My main thing is if Poland can win with their defense, and this is a team that's only allowing 69 points compared to like the 80 points that the Czech Republic's averaging, and they're scoring 16.3 points per game off those turnovers, I like that. That's good fundamental basketball. Obviously, they got to defend the paint a lot more where they have some vulnerabilities, but they got good depth off the bench, and they can play with a lead and not fucking cough it up. So I think that as long as this team keeps the turnovers down and they play that death basketball where they got 8 or 9 guys coming through, I think that they can like at least – well, I think they can win the game, and I think they cover the fucking 3 points. So that's how I'm looking at it.
So you like who?
I'm
Poland
taking
plus
Poland
3.
on the money line.
On the
money
money
line.
line. Okay,
Yeah.
because they're plus 2.5
Wait.
at my book.
Yeah. You want to give me a team that, like, yeah, I'll admit they struggle from the 3-point line, but if you can score close to the bucket and you can get to the free throw line, you can play dirty and slow it down and get on the offensive glass just enough. Well, in this type of game, I think that it matters. This is national pride for these guys.
How is this USA team quickly before we go?
I think that they're in a potential losing situation again. They're in the constellation. This is out of their
You're
fucking
gonna mail
depth.
this in. You're gonna mail this in, right? I mean, and an over, don't you think?
The over, yeah, definitely at 180. I think, yeah, for sure. Serbia shoots really well from the field. Serbia plays with way better on-court chemistry. The way that they pass the ball to each other, you can see that plain and simple. They're 82% from the free throw line, and they're hitting almost 40% from the three. This is a hot shooting Serbia team. They just happen to have gone up against some really stiff competition the last 2 games. So I think that they're looking to get some freaking retribution. And I think that although they lost big time to Spain and Argentina, I think that this is the game that they care about the most.
So are you actually putting money on it? I have it at 179.5.
Which? Poland?
No, the total in the USA game.
Oh yeah, I'm taking it 100%. There's no way that I'm not taking an over in a game where I think the Americans are going to want to speed it up, and where the Serbs are just so hot shooting that they're going to fucking be hitting shit. So
Oh, all right. So USA over 179.5, Poland plus 2.5, and that's it for tomorrow's games, right?
yeah, that's all that I'm playing unless I bet something live.
All right. Well, that's it. We will be back obviously tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. We got Thursday night football. Max, you got softball?
Yes, I do, but I think it may be raining, so you may get me for another night.
Oh, well, let me do a rain dance tonight before I go to bed.
Yeah, I'm sure you're going to.
I am. Oh, wait a minute. Well, before we go, Seattle, are they shit in the bed, Ramon?
7? No.
What's the score right now?
71-63.
I still can't get on it. God damn it. All right. Well, we'll be back tomorrow, boys. 7 o'clock like normal for Maxwell Smart, Mr. Ramon Scott. This is KegCast 159. We're back after this.